फॉल्ट आया तो वायर डाल के उसमें अटैच किया, वायर खराब हो जाता
है। होगा 10:30 बजे, 10:30 बजे ये हो गया ना लिंक हो। नो सो देन आई विल तो अभी चालू करते क्या वायर तो आई विल लीव और लेट इट बी।
Hello, Shankar sir. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much.
Great, sir, to have you on this virtual platform. And
Yeah,
starting, sir, in another 3 4 minutes, we'll start with the program.
no problem. You have 4 more minutes to
Yes,
10:30.
yes. Yes,
And then you see if anybody, one of the admins from cluster joins,
yes.
include them in
Yes,
your words of welcome, one or two.
yes, definitely, sir.
Right. Maybe Bhole sir, Pahade sir, or Kangudi sir,
Yes,
or Ayub sir, whoever.
yes, surely, sir. We are watching it.
We are 43 now. We'll wait for the scheduled time, 10:30.
Yes, sir.
I think it's time.
Yes, sir.
Sir, with your permission, can we start? Sir, you're on mute.
Please do it. I'm
Yes.
ready.
Okay, sir.
A very good morning, Namaste, Adab, Sat Sri Akal to one and all present for this national level seminar on NEP 2020. On behalf of Bharat Friends Association, Bharat College of Arts and Commerce, Principal Madam, our teaching staff, all administrative staff, non-teaching staff, dear students, colleagues, everyone present, a very good morning. To start with this program, let's start and all raise ourselves for national anthem. Rushali Miss, kindly play the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Jai Hind.
Thank you, madam. To proceed with, I request Rushali ma'am to start with Saraswati Vandana.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती विचारसार परमा आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणा पुस्तकधारिणीम् अभयदां जाड्यान्धकारापहा हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थितां वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्।
Thank you, Vrushali ma'am. Once again, good morning to each one of us for being present for this national level seminar on New Education Policy 2020, Transformative Initiatives from the Center and State, Implications for Institutions. On behalf of Bharat Friends Association, Bharat College of Arts and Commerce, and all the teaching, non-teaching, administrative staff, IQSC of our college has organized this program in association with IQSC Cluster India. I am thankful also to IQSC Cluster India for being so kind enough to all the founder members who have taken these initiatives. We all have gathered here to learn on equitable and inclusive education. To start with, sir, I am honored that I was given this opportunity to speak about you and your accomplishment towards the society. On behalf of everyone, I welcome the esteemed guest for today's program. Now I request Dr. Savita Punjabi ma'am to say a few words about this program. Dr. Savita ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, respected in-charge principal, ma'am, Dr. Neetu Kapoor, today's chief guest, Dr. Sankar sir, my dear colleagues and different participant colleagues from different colleges across the nation. I welcome you all for this national level seminar on National Education Policy 2020, Transformative Initiatives from the State and Center, Implications for the Institutions. It is rightly said that change is the only constant. Everything changes, and the only thing constant is change itself. So rather than resisting change, we should try to understand and adopt the strategies to accept that change in the right way. So is the scenario of NEP 2020. After NEP 1986, this policy is a paradigm change in education sector, a comprehensive framework, a vision of new education system with an aim to transform the total education system of India by 2030. The implementation process has already started in the revolutionary form and at the speeder pace. So it is necessary to understand the transformation that has been initiated in the form of notifications received from center and states time by time, and the level of impact that it will have on the educational institutes in the different ways. So with this objective in mind, the current webinar has been organized. The right person to talk about it, our resource person, Dr. Sankar sir, he will give us a comprehensive view of this revolutionary step. Let us hope that this policy really provides to be a win-win situation for the educators, for the learners, and for the nation on the whole. With this hope, I end up my words. Thanks, Farida ma'am, for giving me the opportunity. And without taking much time, I think that we should start with Dr. Sankar sir's presentation. Thank you, ma'am. Farida ma'am, over to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your kind words. Now I invite our in-charge principal, Dr. Neetu Kapoor madam, for her opening remarks for this national level seminar. Madam, over to you.
Thank you, Farida ma'am. First of all, a very warm, very cold morning to all of you. We at Mumbai are having a good cold weather today. And in this cold, when the brain is freezing out, it's necessary that we storm our brain with the upcoming changes. As an institutional head, I welcome Dr. Sankar S. as the resource person of the day, a person who has taken the charge to illuminate us with the upcoming changes, with the revolution that is going to impact each one of us, which is going to bring modern changes, which is going to bring revolution, which is going to bring modernization in our thoughts, in the teaching, learning process, and the overall, the pedagogy of teaching, learning is going to get changed or is going to get revolutionized. There would be an improvement. Definitely, we are all going through this stress, or I should say, there are some changes which are going to happen, is going to affect us, and we are really worried about it. And we all want to know how the changes are going to impact us, or how we are going to implement those changes. I should say, everyone want us to adapt it. But we are here with so many questions that how these things are going to happen. And every day UGC coming up with the new circular is definitely making us more worried what this new circular is going, how it is going to impact us, or what are the state governments taking an apart, how the state governments are coming up with this new circulars, how NEP 2020 is going to bring changes. That is what I feel. So is what is actually worrying each one of us. Definitely, after decades together, we have got something new. The government has come up with some new initiatives. We are trying to make our educational system at par with the foreign education systems, the topmost universities in India or the international. We are in the process to set up our education system with international standards. How do we go about it? How do we achieve it? That is what we all are looking for. It definitely, a change is the only constant. And if we want to survive in this changing scenario, we need to adapt to the situation. To adapt to a situation, it is necessary that we gain necessary knowledge and remove all sorts of confusion. And for that, we have an apt resource person today with us, Dr. Sankar S. I should not say that he is someone outside to us. He is a part of cluster IQAC Cluster India. We all are part of IQAC Cluster India, and definitely IQAC Cluster India has actually enlightened us in the process of quality enhancement and quality improvement. So I am thankful at the same time to IQAC Cluster, who has given us this opportunity to interact with Sankar sir, and his guidance from time to time. I always found someone is there to guide us from yesterday, or from the day when we initiated the idea of having a seminar on NEP 2020. From framing of the title to the content of the slide and the way we are going to conduct today's webinar, everywhere, Sankar sir, you were there to guide us. I really felt that we have someone elder, experienced elder person with us, elder brother, I should say, who is there to guide us every time and to do what to do and what not to do. Sir, we are really thankful to you for your continuous guidance. It is really a pleasure having you. Not, I think you are really a guide and a philosopher, a mentor to all of us. And I expect that we be participative during this entire webinar, and let us get our doubts cleared. We are left with n number of doubts. As a teacher, we have a doubt. As an administrator, we have a doubt. As a student, students might be having more number of doubts than what we have, but still they are untouched. They are not known to all the facts much, but we are there to guide them. So first, we need to be very clear to all the policies that are coming up with NEP 2020. And I think, Sankar sir, you are going to do best. I know, since our interaction, you are very clear on what you want to talk about and what the audience expects. So that is how we are going to get today ready for NEP 2020. Thank you so much, sir, for being there, for guiding us. I also welcome all the participants who have joined from various places. 10:30 in the morning, we all know we have busy schedules in the college, but still we all are here. That shows our inclination to adapt this new change, and we know without accepting we won't be surviving. So sustenance and survival is what we all talk about. So let us take up NEP 2020 in a positive mood. Let us take up and let us support the young generation to be competent at the global level. Thank you so much, Farida ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to talk. Thank you, Rushali ma'am, for organizing this, taking all efforts to organize this. And the leader always, Sankar sir, we are really obliged and grateful to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, madam, for your kind words. And now it's time to introduce our resource person. Sir, I'm highly honored that I'm given this opportunity to read your achievements. But
Just 1 minute, only 1 minute, not more than a minute.
Sir, that won't justify that
It's
won't
okay, it's
justify.
okay, ma'am. See,
sir, I'll try to cut short your biodata, but then too, before starting, I apologize that I'll be very brief, and with due respect, I'm reading your achievements in the field of education. I'm really honored to read the profile of Dr. S. Sankar, advisor IQSC cluster, and we are honored to have such a great personality with us for the national level seminar. And I hope that everybody will have a little guidance from this eminent personality. As a teacher and administrator in the college, 42 years of service in the cause of education, 38 years teaching degree and PG programs, regular principal of college. For 5 years, served as chairman, board of studies in English and other universities, paper setter for colleges and university, research guide for 14 MPhils and 1 PhD awarded under his guidance, served as secretary of Affiliated College Teachers Association AP, that is Andhra Pradesh, recipient of the Best Teacher Award from Government of AP in 2005, steering in the college through the NAC re-accreditation and got A grade for the college in 2016, got UGC autonomous status for the college for a period of 10 years in 2017, published 6 books with ISBN numbers, organized 6 national level seminars and workshop, member of AP state level committee for Krishna University, instrumental in preparing the CBCS curriculum for UJ English, delivered live lectures in Mana TV for degree students, gave talks on All India Radio. This is few achievements of sir, and for panelists for 36 events, webinars on peer team member of NAC, academic and administrative audit, quality sustenance, NEP 2020, teaching methodologies, and so on. Appointed by AP State Council of Higher Education for preparing the NAC manuals in curricular practices and best practices for affiliated and autonomous colleges. Sir is also an advisor for IQSC cluster. He gives guidance to many colleges in submitting his NAC and SSR, AQAR, and conducting academic and administrative audit. Resource person in the areas of outcome-based education, intellectual property rights, National Education Policy 2020, soft skills, teaching methodologies, multidisciplinary education, assessment, national curriculum framework for school education. Sir is also acquainted with government agencies, academic experience, was invited to train the staff of Postal Department, Life Insurance Corporation of India, AP Police, and AP Revenue Department. On this note, I welcome Sir for this national level seminar on NEP 2020. Sir, I hope that I have fulfilled 1 minute, and I'm really honored that we are there to listen to such an eminent personality on this such a wide, brief, and very sensitive topic. Sir, welcome on behalf of each one of us. Over to you, sir.
thank you, ma'am. Can I share my screen now?
Yes, sir, you can share.
And a small request to my colleagues, 86 participants who have been able to make it. Kindly mute your mics, and if there is a need type in the chat box or forward them to the organizers. If you have any question, any very urgent question also, you just forward them to the organizers. They will give you a chance at the end if we have enough time. Otherwise, they will forward them to me for answering. This is what I just wanted to say as an opening note. I'm impressed by the preparation made by the principal, the IQAC coordinator, and the organizer of this particular seminar, Madam Kulkarni, for the effort they have put in to make this a reality. This is the first time at the national level. I would like to reiterate, this is the first time at the national level that such a seminar is being organized, in which almost all, I would say almost all, the circulars released by University Grants Commission relating to NEP 2020, and also the various initiatives taken by state governments, state councils of higher education, and some universities are mentioned. This will give you a key on how these state governments and the University Grants Commission and universities and colleges are taking a step forward in the implementation of NEP 2020. Even a government like Kerala, which is very vociferous against the NEP 2020 policy, has also come up with a committee to get recommendations from them on how to implement this. Does anybody have a coin in her his hand now? Anybody having a coin? Okay. I need a coin with one side, or a note, a currency note with one side. Is it possible to have a currency note or a coin with one side? Definitely it's not. Similarly, for any policy, whether it is good or bad, you see, it depends on the individual's viewpoint or the state government's viewpoint. This is the basis with which you will have to look at any document released by a policy released by government. And since we are academicians, we have to look at the pros and cons of each argument, and we'll have to guide the colleges, and we'll also have to guide the students on how they can use the beneficial points for their progress, for the progress of the institution, and in turn, you see the progress of the society. These are my opening remarks. Now, I may be permitted to share my screen.
Yes, sir, you can share, sir.
Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Right. Thanks to the organization once again, you see, Bharat Friend Associations, Bharat College of Arts and Commerce. I'm impressed by the number of institutions being run by Bharat Friends Association. And Bharat College of Arts and Commerce is also one of these institutions imparting education to the needy in the locale. We are looking at the NEP 2020 document again. But the approach is to look at the transformative initiatives taken by the center, you see, through University Grants Commission and also various state governments. And what does these initiatives mean to the various institutions, academic institutions? Look at the timeline in the formulation of national education policy. On the right side, you see 4 education ministers changing their portfolios, you see, in the BJP government. It all started in 2015 when Srimati Smriti Irani was the Minister for Higher Education, followed by Prakash Javadekar, and it was during the term of Ramesh Pokhriyal on the 29th of July 2020 that this has been adopted, NEP 2020. And Dharmendra Pradhan, who is the minister in charge of education, he is looking after all the initiatives that are to be continued as per NEP 2020. This is the timeline. And you have this committee which has been constituted by the central government, you see, Kasturi Rangan Committee, as it is called, for drafting national education policy. And you see, from the south, there is only one state represented in the committee. Can you name that particular state? Look at this slide. Anybody can answer, or Madam Kulkarni may answer. There is only one state from the south of India which has been given a slot in constituting this committee. Yes?
Karnataka?
Yeah, that's wonderful. 3 members from Karnataka, none from Kerala, none from Andhra, none from Tamil Nadu. Yes. And this is a Ministry of Education a link. Look here, you see, you are able to see my cursor, you see, circling. On 31st of December at 3:40 p.m. in the afternoon, this has been downloaded on the initiatives that have been taken, and the links to the various websites, links to various order circulars issued by the state government. And this was updated only up to 24th of August 2021. Look at the cursor, you see, pointing at the bottom of the right-hand bottom of the slide. And after 24th August 2021, you see, there have been some orders which have not been added here. I'll also show them to you in various slides. And you'll be able to see this particular slide. Can you identify to which college it belongs?
Bharat College.
Yeah. On each slide, you'll have, you see, this a monogram, because it is the initiative for the first time taken pan-India by a college to find out the relation between NEP 2020 and the implementation orders taken. Then you have a state government which has constituted a committee, and a 69-page NEP 2020 document is available to you. I request all the members of various colleges attending this seminar to find out from their IQACs or their libraries if they have a copy of the NEP 2020 report, about 69 pages. You can take a printout, 69 rupees, you see, one-sided prints. It is necessary, compulsory, inevitable, you see, for colleges, particular IQACs, the principal room, and also the libraries to have a copy. And if there is a possibility, have a link of NEP 2020 document, original document on the college website, so that you'll be able to, at any time, you'll be able to refer to it. Looking at the 69-page document, the Mashelkar committee constituted by Maharashtra has come up with a 100-page report. You see how comprehensive. The original report is only 69 pages, but the Maharashtra government committee, several state governments have constituted committee, but Maharashtra government committee has gone in a comprehensive manner at analyzing, you see, the NEP 2020, and they have submitted a report of 100 pages. From 100 pages, I have been able to take 5 points, important points, which have been given here. Rethink, reimagine, reinvent. You see, you look at, I request, you see, since you are all from Maharashtra, I request all the members coming from various colleges in Maharashtra to kindly download and make a few print copies also available for the consumption of students and staff, particularly IQACs and also in the library. Rethink, reimagine, and reinvent. You see, take one color print of the title and the others perhaps you can take in one-sided black and white. 5 biggest challenges Mashilkar committee has identified are moving from right education to education for all. How wonderfully phrased this is. Moving from right to education. It is not enough if you are given a right, but you should also be in a position to have the proper education that is required for educating the nation from school to PG level. Then single-minded pursuit of excellence. See, quality sustenance, that's what we are talking about. Excellence not necessarily isolated to teaching. It is also excellence to be extended to research. Then administration, world-class governance of schools, colleges, and universities. You take a look at a school, you take a look at a college, you take a look at a university. Why should colleges, schools, and universities suffer from temporary arrangements? Why should not the government give a free hand to administration to have a permanent faculty at the helm of affairs? The challenge of innovation in education, look at the way the 4th point is drafted. The challenge of innovation in education and conversely, education in innovation. It is not enough if you innovate. You have to educate or you have to find some kind of education through innovation. And the challenge of achieving excellence as well as relevance. It's not enough if you are excellent in an area. It should be relevant to society. It should be relevant to students. It should be relevant to the college where it is situated. It should also be relevant to the society and in turn to the nation. Excellence per se is not enough. Excellence should also be relevant. That is what wonderful 5 points by Maharashtra Mashilkar committee document. Rethink, reimagine, reinvent. You see, the title 3 R's is also wonderful. Achieving peaks of excellence in research. Achieving peaks of excellence in research means having a continuous thrust on not only working at the frontiers of research, at the border of research, but we ourselves creating new frontiers. See, change, Savita Madam Punjabi was making a mention of change is inevitable. Change is the only thing that is constant always. It is not enough if we are working at the frontiers of research, but we should also try to create new frontiers as we progress towards the future. Then you have the Kerala government. You see, I was making a reference to Kerala government, which is not very positive about NEP 2020. But in spite of that, it has constituted a committee, and the committee has come up with some recommendations. On the recommendations are here like this. Quality higher education must aim to develop good, thoughtful, well-rounded and creative individuals. Well-rounded. You must have heard about all-rounders in cricket. You see, well-rounded individuals also are needed, you see, in states, in societies, in colleges, universities, and education should try to develop, you see, students into well-rounded persons. It must enable in an individual today one or more specialized areas, and so on and so forth. It has given its own recommendations. Then you have the implementation plan by Karnataka on NEP 2020. Karnataka is said to be the first state to implement NEP 2020. The committee has come up with several points like dealing with structure for higher education, regulation, governance, curriculum framework, development of research and innovation, faculty development in universities and colleges, interventions on equity. What is equity? We'll look at it. Equity, equality, these are two words you'll have to keep in your mind. You see, I'll be making a reference continuously to equity in my presentation. Then you have one university, a central university, University of Hyderabad, making a recommendation. I'm referring only to two aspects of what the Central University of Hyderabad has come up with. It is also a 100+ page document. The first aims at a broad-based curriculum comprising a core component and a multidisciplinary component in every program. The University of Hyderabad, Central University of Hyderabad, it's a prestigious university and having a campus of thousands of acres in a prime area. It says the first is to have a broad-based curriculum comprising a core component and a multidisciplinary component in every program. Multidisciplinary education, that is what NEP 2020 highlights and repeats again and again and emphasizes. The second idea is it allows multiple entries and exits. It's not enough. You see, the academic bank of credits, everything that we have been making a mention of, you see, that is also reflected here in the recommendation of the University of Hyderabad. Then we are going to the document itself, NEP 2020. The 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, you see, up to class 12 plus 2, 5 years, pre-KG, LKG, UKG, classes 1 and 2, then preparatory stage, grades 3, 4, 5, then middle school stages 6, 7, and 8, and then the secondary stage, 9th and 10th school education completes, and 11th and 12th, you see, also maybe in schools, but plus 2, we also call it intermediate. The points 1 to 8, the NEP 2020 has only 27 points. Of the 27 points, points 1 to 8 deal with school education. The point number 1 deals with early childhood care and education are the foundation of learning, and then foundational literacy and numeracy. Then you have how to prevent dropout rates of students coming to schools and ensuring that universal access is there. Then curriculum and pedagogy in schools. And then the 5th point is teachers. Teachers come at 5th point, not at the top. It talks about childhood care, foundational literacy, preventing dropout rates, and then curriculum and pedagogy. And to implement this curriculum and pedagogy, teachers are required, and teachers are referred to in point number 5. Then equitable and inclusive education, including everyone. And equity, I'll make a reference to it, you see, again and again, and we'll look at what equity is and how it is different from equality. And then efficient resourcing and effective governance. It is not enough if you have resources, they should be used or governed in a proper manner. Standard setting and accreditation for school education. Like you see, our NAC accreditation for colleges and universities, the NEP 2020 also envisages, see, standard setting or accreditation for school education too. Then part 2 from point 9 to 19 deals with higher education, 9 to 19. Then 20 to 24 deal with other key areas of focus, and 25 to 27 deal with making it happen. These are some of the ideas that are being focused in NEP 2020, and I'll be dealing with them in a as quick manner as possible. Please bear with me. See, sometimes I'll be going for the detailed explanation. You must all have read the Constitution of India. At least you must have had a cursory glance at the Constitution. You must have touched the book of Indian Constitution. Kindly, those of you who have not touched the Indian Constitution, please go to the library, and you may be having a copy of the Constitution of India in your own collection of books. Take a picture of yourself having a Constitution of India in your hands. You see, feel it at least physically, and then perhaps you may be tempted to read it. Higher educational institutions must play a role in developing India. Look at the point number 1. You see, HEIs need to take a role in developing India. How? As per the Constitution. Look at the Constitution on the right side. You see the picture. An extract of the Constitution of India is also used here in the slide. How they should play a role in developing India as a democratic, just, fair, socially conscious. You see, you'll have to give back something to society. Cultured. You shouldn't forget your culture. and humane nation, responding to the needs of others, upholding liberty, support liberty, equality, fraternity, liberty, equality, fraternity. See, well spoken, widely spoken, repeated often, and justice for all. Everyone should be able to get justice. Liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice for all. Equality, good, but equity, better. If you can find the word equity, equity is spelled E-Q-U-I-T-Y, E-Q-U-I-T-Y. If you can find equity in the Constitution of India, I think you can claim 100 rupees or perhaps even 200, or I would say 500. Why 200? Find the word equity used in the basic Constitution of India. You can get 500 rupees. You can claim it from the Principal Kapoor madam or the Kulkarni madam or Punjabi madam, or even from Dr. Shankar sir. Equity word is not there in the Indian Constitution. I searched for it, researched on it, and the Google also says equity is not used once. Then how come the National Education Policy 2020 thinks about equity, which is a higher step, a step in advance to the Indian Constitution and its spirit? Equity, I'll show you a slide, which tells you what it means. HEIs must, higher education institution must contribute towards sustainable livelihoods, not 1 day or 1 hour or 1 month sustainability, lifelong sustainability, and economic development of the nation, and make it a knowledge economy and society. Higher education must make it a knowledge economy and society. That's what it says. What is the vision for India's higher education system? HES. HEI is higher education institution. HES is higher education systems. Develop well-rounded, I was making a reference to all-rounders in cricket. Develop a well-rounded creative individuals with economic independence, and these individuals should be people of character, ethical and upholding ethical and constitutional values, and intellectual curiosity. Without curiosity, man would not have progressed. Man would not have literally been living in the caves had he not been endowed with the feeling of curiosity. And it is not enough if you have curiosity, you should also have a reasoning or a scientific temper, and then creativity, innovation, and the spirit of service are giving back to society, and 21st century capabilities in all disciplines of study. 21st century capabilities, teamwork, soft skills, computer skills, digital learning, all these things, fourth industrial revolution, all these aspects are called 21st century capabilities. And identified sets of skills and values will be incorporated at each stage of learning. 12 years of schooling, and then 3 years of UG or 4 years of UG, and 2 or 1 year of PG, and then PhD. At each level, you see, they'll be incorporated. What are they that are being incorporated? The intellectual curiosity, scientific temper, creativity, spirit of service, and 21st century capabilities in all disciplines of study. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Am I visible?
Yes, sir.
In the sense, you see, is my PPT visible? And am I clear, or am I running fast?
No, sir.
Is my pace okay with you?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir, no issue.
Yeah, thank you so much. Identified sets of skills and values will be incorporated at each stage of learning. It must result in a skilled nation that can find and implement robust solution to its own problems. Every country has its own problems. India also has its own problems. So the education that is being imparted in schools, colleges, and universities must enable students and society to find a solution to its problems. In the revised NAC manual and a revised AQR manual, you have several questions related to NEP 2020. And here, the relevant question is taken from that. How the institution is providing value-based education to inculcate, develop, infuse positivity amongst the learner that includes the development of humanistic, ethical, constitutional, and universal human values And in our own language, they are referred to as Satya, truth, righteous conduct, dharma, peace, shanti, love, prem, non-violence, ahimsa, scientific temper, citizenship values, and also life skills. How the institutions are able to do all these things, that is what you are required to answer. It is not enough if the constitution says something. It is not enough if your NEP 2020 says something. How are you infusing it into the students? How these ethical values are transmitted? Is there a paper for that? Is there a course for that? Is there any curriculum for it? Is there any certificate, additional values? Do you invite to see people of repute to lecture your students about human values and professional competencies, how to live in a humble manner, see how to spread love and peace and practicing non-violence. All these things are to be infused into your curriculum. Curriculum is different from syllabus. Syllabus is the list of topics, the list of items that you study to appear for an examination at the end of a semester. Curriculum is a concept, you see, which touches upon all the material that is there in various courses, and also tells how to implement them for the benefit of individual student and for the benefit of the college, and also in turn to the society and the nation. That is what the curriculum. And the teacher is free to bring about, you see, any item that is not included in the syllabus, but which is related to the syllabus into her or his teaching, and kindly make it a point. Kindly request to see all the participants, you see, who are young and who are teaching, to maintain a diary. Diaries are required by several colleges, several state governments, several state councils of higher education, on what a lecturer or a teacher or a professor has actually done in a particular class. You see, you have to make a mention. You see, I have tried to relate this particular concept to that point in the syllabus. That is how you will have to make a record, and it may have to be used. It may be used, you see, by your IQAC when they are filling the AQR or the SSR at a later date. The higher education institutions, as Kasturi Rangan committee found, is a little alarming. It said, see, there are 50,000 institutions, most are commercial, not for educative purposes, not for training, but only for earning money. And the learning outcomes of students are very poor. The skills of students are also poor. Rigid separation of disciplines. A science teacher doesn't know arts, student, the arts student doesn't know commerce or science, and so on and so forth. That is alarming. And lack of access, especially in socioeconomically disadvantaged areas. There are students, people living in socioeconomically disadvantaged areas. There, they do not have an opportunity to get into a good college, reputed college. And this is a cause for alarm at the national level. And then lack of teacher and institutional autonomy to innovate and excel. I find it in several colleges. There is a teacher, a meritorious teacher, an innovative teacher, a teacher who wishes to excel, a teacher who wants to experiment, who wants to implement something new, and he is not permitted either by the principal or the university or the college administration to practice all these things, which is a little damaging. Institutions should enable teachers to experiment, innovate, and introduce new things which will help in making the students excel in that particular area, and in turn helping the college to excel in a few areas. Then the Kasturi Rangan committee pointed out that there is inadequate mechanism for merit-based career management and progression of faculty. Faculty members who wish to excel are not able to get those promotions that they deserve. Merit-based career management is singularly absent. That is why it says NEP 2020 says there is inadequate mechanism. Lack of research and funding across disciplines. You want to go for research, you do not have funding, you do not have opportunities, you do not have access to research labs and so on and so forth. That doesn't help the teachers. Then poor governance and leadership of HEIs. Poor governance is a stark phrase, you may think, but you see, governance is poor in several areas, and educational institutions are also a part of the framework. Regulatory system not empowered to close fake colleges. The UGC laments, we are unable to close the fake universities or fake colleges existing even in Delhi because they went to the court and brought an injunction order. See, what can we do? If that is the situation of University Grants Commission, what can a university like Mumbai University or some other university say about the existing colleges? Then you have large affiliating universities, result poor undergraduate education in college. If there are received 700, 600, 800, 900 colleges affiliated to one university, how do you think will that university vice chancellor or the registrar or the officials able to do it? And look at the picture on the right hand bottom. You see how the people are trying to treat on a very thin rope, trying to push it, you see, balancing themselves and being attacked from the bottom. That is the kind of situation in which the present education system is going through. Then the policy vision, key changes to the current system. Multidisciplinary education and research universities, the NEP 2020 committee recommended, you see, MERUs should be started at least one in each district if they are not there. Then multidisciplinary UG education. You cannot have single colleges offering only College of Science, College of Arts, or College of Commerce. No, you will have to necessarily affiliate yourselves to university offering is almost all the combinations. Faculty and institutional autonomy. What exactly is autonomy? Autonomy is the freedom to do something is novel, innovative. There are autonomous colleges. We have an autonomous college. We are an autonomous college. And we should be given the chance to devise our own question paper. And following the UGC broad guidelines, we should also be permitted to experiment, you see, by introducing new topics that are in the ambit of university guidelines or UGC guidelines. But in most colleges, universities do not permit. There is a college, you see, which I have personal knowledge about. There is a college which wanted the 75 external evaluation and 25 internal evaluation to be changed to 70 external evaluation and 30. And the university nominee. In fact, you see that university is not even accredited by NAC, whereas this is a college of more than 50 years standing. And this college wanted to make, you see, internal evaluation is component to 30. And the university representative said, no, I will not sign. I will not sign. You say, you see, make a dissent note, you see, against my name, and I will not sign. You see. Ultimately, that poor college, they'll have to abide by the members' wish of a university which is not even accredited, and this is a college of more than 5 decades standing, and they had to agree. Just 5 marks. They wanted to have 30 marks for internal evaluation and 70, but the university authority would not approve. See, it is in this background that you have to see faculty and institutional autonomy. Are we really having faculty autonomy, institutional autonomy? This is a question that you'll have to ask yourself. What do you expect? This is a question that the institution has to ask himself or herself or themselves. What is expected by NEP 2020? What are the state governments thinking? What are the universities thinking? You see, if individuals are not given the autonomy to experiment, introduce reform, change, what do you expect to see will happen to educational institutions and the education that is being imparted in schools and colleges and universities? And you will see this question, what do you expect at various places in my presentation? Revamping curriculum, pedagogy or the way of teaching, assessment, how you are valuing. You have different types of assessment, formative assessment, diagnostic assessment, summative assessment. These are the, at least three basic concepts. Formative assessment is you'll be able to understand, the teacher is able to understand when he or she handles a class, whether the students are following, and there are some students who are not able to understand. For them, for their sake, you see, the teacher tries to repeat an explanation once again. And diagnostic assessment is through a slip test, unannounced slip test, or asking questions, oral questions, quiz competition, to find out how they are able to comprehend, understand or not. And summative assessment at the end of the semester or mid-semester or whatever it is. So revamping curriculum, pedagogy, assessment and student support. How are students to be supported? Advanced learners, slow learners. Slow learners are to be identified not just by the marks that they get in the previous examination. No. Slow learners are identified by the class teacher, subject teacher. Slow learners are identified basically by the class teacher, and this information is passed on by the class teachers to the mentors. The mentors are entrusted with the taking care of 15 to 20 students in a college. So the mentors will be able to identify with the help of the subject teachers who is weak in particular area. Some students who are weak in English may be very good in maths. Some who are good in Marathi may not be good in English. And so this information can be collected only through the teachers handling the particular subjects, and they will be supported appropriately. Student support is also a much talked about item in universities and colleges, and also in NEP 2020. Then merit appointments, career progression based on teaching, research and service. There was a question, is even I was, this is my 49th lecture after 2019 October. Earlier I had different number of lectures, but after 2019 October, this is my 49th lecture. In one of these webinars, in one of these lectures, there was a question raised by one of the participants. You see, you say merit appointments. It's not possible. The management doesn't want it. The government doesn't want it. The system doesn't want it. How do you go for merit appointments in colleges? Actually, this question was raised and should have been answered by one of my colleagues, a resource person. And I said, you see, I'll answer if you permit me. I asked the resource person. He said, okay, go ahead. And the person who raised the question also was eager to listen to what I would say. Recruit your teachers just as you recruit your soldiers. That's what I said. If a state, if the central government recruits its teachers just as it would recruit its soldiers who would protect the borders, who would protect the country from onslaught at the borders, you see, if you recruit your teachers following the same norms, you'll have a wonderful appointments, merit appointments. Is it possible? What do you expect? That is the square that you see. What do you expect? You expect to see merit appointments, career progression based on teaching, research and service. These are the things that are to be considered if you want to promote people. Then you have I was making a reference to this. The University Grants Commission has come up with several circulars, guidelines for transforming higher education institutions into multidisciplinary institutions. I was also making a reference to not to limit colleges to arts or commerce or science, but have multidisciplinary offerings, you see, in your college. It should have different departments with innovative programs of a multi and interdisciplinary nature to help widen learners' thinking and learning capability. If you are trained only in languages, if you are trained only in sciences, you will not be able to know where Takshashila is or Vallabhi is, where Vikramshila is, where Nalanda is. You will not be able to know because you are obsessed with science and nothing else. You are obsessed with commerce and nothing else. You should also have, say, multidisciplinary education, knowing something of this, that, and whatnot, everything. And it should widen learners' thinking and learning capability and train them to address emerging challenges. New challenges are coming. If a student of arts is only thinking about Babur, Akbar, Humayun, Aurangzeb, and maybe Bhartruhari or all these people, Harsha, it's not in Vikramaditya, Chandragupta Maurya, it's not enough. You see, you'll also have to know what are the coming challenges that the country has to face and how we have to train our youngsters. The NEP 2020 proposes to end fragmentation of higher education by transforming HEIs into multidisciplinary research intensive universities where research will go on, multidisciplinary teaching intensive universities, degree awarding multidisciplinary autonomous colleges which are smaller than a university. Now you also see what do you expect at the left hand corner where I'm moving my pointer. So these are some of the things that you have to think about. A and B look at what do multidisciplinary research intensive universities deal with, and multidisciplinary teaching intensive university, what do they deal with? And you also have a link to the guidelines issued by the University Grants Commission at the left hand. And then there is one more guideline, you see, relating to the innovative pedagogical approaches and evaluation reforms by the Government of India, MHRD. And the NEP 2020 envisions innovative pedagogical approaches and their roles in higher education. It emphasizes the holistic development, all-round development of learners, which requires using innovative new pedagogical teaching approaches such as experiential learning. These are the terms that you come across. Cutting-edge pedagogy, the latest technology, art-integrated learning, and flipped classroom, you see, from teacher-centric to student-centric and so on and so forth. These are some of the things that will have to be introduced in the curriculum. It also emphasizes formative and competency-based assessment for developing higher order thinking skills. At the formative level, if the student is not capable of understanding or following what the teacher is doing, if he is unable to learn, you see, the teacher will change his or her approach. She will or he will be able to assess what the student is doing at the classroom level, in order to make him develop higher order thinking skills such as creativity, critical thinking and analysis. Critical thinking and analysis. Pedagogical approaches used by a teacher determine the use of one or more type of evaluation tools. Evaluation tools may differ depending on the subject start and the approaches followed by the teacher, and which are formative or summative or both. I was making a reference to formative in the initial stages, in the classroom. Summative is at the end of the semester when an examination is attended to by the students. Evaluation and assessment tools supporting the teacher's pedagogy for a course need to help determine the achievement of graduate attributes. Please bear in mind, there is a difference between a program and a course. A course is a paper in a semester, maybe for 70 marks or 100 marks. A program leads to a degree. Several colleges in their websites use course for program. I'm studying BA course, I'm studying BCom course, I'm studying BSc course. No, that's not correct. Program is a degree. Program leads to a degree, whereas a course is limited to one paper in a degree, maybe in one semester. So evaluation and assessment tools are supposed to support the teacher's pedagogy for a course. They need to help determine the achievements of graduate attributes. What are the graduate attributes that are to be attained by a student, whether he is able to get the knowledge, whether he is able to express, you see, what he gained as far as knowledge of that particular subject is concerned, whether he has developed the competency to analyze critically what is being taught, then is he able to use it, application also. These are some of the graduate attributes that are being touched upon by NEP 2020. Then there is one more circular, guidelines for engaging professor of practice in universities and colleges. Why this? In the context of holistic and multidisciplinary education as recommended in NEP 2020, it is important for the higher education institutions to address the capacity constraints, especially with reference to integration of general education with vocational education. They are vocational, skill-based education should be integrated to higher education or general education. Realizing that the HES need people with skills and expertise acquired in non-academic careers, in teaching and research, the UGC has taken a new initiative for engaging a professor of practice in HES. These are some of the circulars I was making a reference to in the title of my presentation. As Rushali madam and Kapoor madam and Savita madam we had a discussion and we agreed upon this. These are some of the transformative orders issued by the state and central governments with relation to NEP 2010 and how it is to be implemented in the colleges. And Professor of Practice is one such order issued by the central government, University Grants Commission, to help students gain some kind of training, you see, using the service of these people on how to develop the vocational skills in addition to the academic skills of the system. And then you have the new orders, a national research foundation to fund research, HEA governance by independent boards with academic and administrative autonomy. A board of governors will have to be constituted by each college and university to look at the academic and administrative autonomy or freedom that is expected of colleges. Then the light but tight regulation. Don't be too rigid when you are regulating. It should be light, but it should be tight. A single regulator for all higher and professional education. You do not have to run from pillar to post to get sanctions. One individual to give you orders on everything. Then increased access, scholarships for disadvantaged and underprivileged students. How do students join? If they can afford it, okay. But if they cannot afford it, you see, the colleges should, the university should, the government should, state and center, the local body should come up with a few incentives for students who are economically not strong enough to be able to join these colleges. And you can call them scholarships or free ships or whatever ships they are, to make the students join. So that is what we are looking at. If you want to change, you have to modify. There is a transition. It leads to transformation. There is a shift. Then you will have to adjust to the shift and the new. The old key and the dominant and new key. These are some of the things. And there is a single regulator for almost all things in the new education system that is required, says NEP 2020. We have covered 1 point. Out of 27, we'll start at 9. And point number 9 is completed. And now we are in point number 10. Institutional restructuring consolidation, transforming HEIs into large multidisciplinary universities, colleges, and HEI clusters, knowledge hubs, each with 3,000 or more students. I'm not sure, you see, how many students you have in your college, but a college is supposed to have almost up to 3,000 students. And India urgently needs to bring back the great Indian tradition of Takshashila, Nalanda, Vallabhi, and Vikramshila to create well-rounded and innovative individuals studying in vibrant, multidisciplinary environments. We had HAD, we had the tradition of offering education by sitting at the Guru's feet. Look at the picture, see, on the right-hand corner. Students used to learn. We had the tradition of Guru Sishya interaction, you see, of learning in an enlightened manner in various universities, Takshashila, Nalanda, Vallabhi, and Vikramshila. Can anyone tell me in which country you have Takshashila?
Now it is in Pakistan, I think.
Yeah, wonderful. Very near to Rawalpindi. I think you can take 100 rupees from the head of the family, and if you are the head of the family yourself, you see, you take it from your top pocket and put it into your back pocket, and you are a winner, right? And Nalanda and Vikramshila are in Bihar, whereas Vallabhi is in Gujarat. India needs urgently to bring back its environment of Guru Sishya Parampara, where well-rounded and innovative individuals will be able to study in multidisciplinary environments. On the right-hand side, you have a question from AQR or the new SSR, where it is asked like this: appropriate integration of Indian knowledge system, IKS, Indian knowledge system, that which was the tradition which was followed hundreds and thousands of years back in India, and how it has been spoiled by foreign education. Teaching in Indian language, culture using online course. Delineate the strategy and details regarding the integration of Indian knowledge system in Indian language, culture, and etc. Do you use the mother tongue, the vernacular, see, sometimes in the classrooms? Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. The purpose of education is to impart education in such a manner as to make it easy for the student to follow it. So NEP 2020 welcomes the use of bilingual method, maybe teaching to a level of making the student understand using vernacular also. So what are the steps taken by the institution to follow the integration of IKS or Indian knowledge system in teaching, and how it is brought into the curriculum using both offline and online courses? Please try to look at this website. There is a link here. Also see 16 ancient universities of India from 3,600 plus years ago. myindia.myglory.com. You see, we made a reference only to 4. Takshashila, Nalanda, Vallabhi, and Vikramashila, but there are other areas which we will be able to. Today we have this technology where we are using, you see, all kinds of scientific innovative methods to make students study. But the system that was followed in the past was one guru teaching from chemistry to physics to language to tarka or reasoning. All these things were taught by one single guru. Sitting at the feet of a guru, students used to learn. That kind of Indian knowledge system is to be brought back to students. And this is a public notice by University Grants Commission asking for feedback on its guidelines, 28 pages guidelines, I think, from universities, from colleges, from state councils of higher education on Indian knowledge system. This is an order issued by the Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education asking me, here I think you'll be able to see, look at the cursor going around. See, to come up with, see, I was appointed as a one-man committee for Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education to come up with the recommendations on what should we write as feedback to the University Grants Commission about the Indian knowledge system. I submitted my answer to them for their use. Then institutional restructuring and consolidation. Higher education system shall have high quality teaching and research and community engagement in research intensive universities, teaching intensive universities, autonomous degree granting colleges. We have seen this earlier. Research universities will of course follow research, focus on research. Teaching in universities will place emphasis on teaching. They will also conduct useful research. And all colleges are supposed to become autonomous colleges. Yours is not an autonomous college. Am I right?
Yes.
Right.
It's not autonomous, sir.
You're not autonomous, non-autonomous. Okay. All colleges to become autonomous, which are large multidisciplinary institutions primarily focused on undergraduate teaching. Look at this. HEs will have autonomy to move from one category to another. You see, 3 categories of institutions we have seen. Expectations of quality education across all categories will be same. HEs to support other HEs in development, community engagement, and service. It is not enough if a student comes to college to gain knowledge. A student comes to college to get knowledge, and he should be vocal enough to say what he learned. He should also have the analytical skills. He should have also the global skills. And ultimately, the 5th and most important point is that he should give back to society. What he learned in a college is to be applied, given back to society. These are the 5 main ingredients of what a student is expected to learn. Come to college to gain knowledge. Come to college to be able to communicate of the about the knowledge that he has or she has learned, and have analytical skills, and then having also global skills to work in teams using technology. And ultimately, the 5th aim of education is to give back something to society, to support other HEAs, and to have community engagement and service. And you should also support school education. Please, friends, always adopt a school. You must be doing it. It is the school that provides, you see, the seeds. for future college education. Always adopt one or a couple of schools and mostly schools which are in rural areas, which need some kind of hand holding, nourishment. See, it is necessary. It is one of the implications for NEP 2020. The colleges should adopt a school, a neighborhood, a community where it can do some service. What exactly is autonomy? Autonomy is the desire to be self-directed. Look at the picture on the right side. Then you also have, you see, a National Institute of Open Schooling, where you have several topics up to 12th class. You can join such latest topics as artificial intelligence, cyber security courses, mobile television, retail management. All these could be learned by students and also teachers. Perhaps there is a little fee that you'll have to pay per paper, and it is something which is made available by the central government. Then look at the institutional restructuring consolidation. By 2040, all high HEIs shall become multidisciplinary with thousands of student enrollments. I was telling you in the beginning itself, no single discipline institution. College of Arts, no. College of Commerce, no. College of Science, no. Multidisciplinary institute. Even in engineering colleges, you'll have to have arts, commerce, and other disciplines. Increasing GER, gross enrollment ratio, to 50% by 2030. It is less than 30% at present. In an independent India, we are not able to cross a 30% GER in HEIs, or maybe 31%, whatever it is. And by 2030, in 7 years, how do you expect the reach target of 50% gross enrollment ratio? And this is a very clever government, very powerful government. A government is which has a knack of doing things in its own way of setting a target and trying to meet the target somehow or the other. And look at the clever way in which this particular government has tried to reach that particular target, you see, in the given time frame 2030. Look at the arrow. What do you expect? How is this going to be arrived at? By 2030, all institutions should work in such a manner as to increase the GER to 50%. More HEIs in underserved regions, okay. The GER in higher and vocational education to increase from 26.3 in 2018 by to 50% by 2030. I was saying, you see, it's around 30%. Think about it now, and we have to add to it by 20%. Capacity creation by consolidating, expanding, and improving existing HEIs. At least 3,000 students in each college, increasing the number of seats. That is something that it makes a mention of. And capacity creation by consolidating, expanding, and improving existing HEIs. Then growth in both public and private institutions for fair and transparent system. No special favor to government institutions. Funding, support for quality public HEIs. And then all institutions may run open distance learning online programs if they are accredited. Online and distance education programs can be okay. All institutions may run open distance learning and online programs if you are accredited. Do so. Single stream HEIs, I was making a reference to it, will become multidisciplinary. All HEIs will move to full autonomy, academic and administrative autonomy. Quality private institutions will be encouraged. What do you expect? What do you mean by encourage? Just by words? Just by a letter? Or will there be some kind of funding? This is what is being asked. And in AQRs and SSR, this question is also raised. To offer vocational education in open distance learning or blended mode, you see, hybrid mode, on-campus modular mode to learners. What are the initiatives taken by the institution? That's a question that is to be answered in SSR and AQRs. Then you have these orders. Equivalence of a degree obtained. Equivalence of a degree obtained through ODL and online mode with degree obtained through conventional mode. Done. That's it. So simple. A very clear government. The government says degrees obtained through online mode are also equal to the degrees obtained through regular mode. Earlier, it was not so. People used to look down on distance education MBAs and distance education, this that degree or that PG. But now it says it is both equal. How can this be done? How can this take place as the institution? Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. You may be an advisor, you may be a resource person, but the bills do not stop. You see, the paper boy comes and rings the bell and stops the presentation. So the distance education or the regular education degrees are equalized and one with one order. Now you know how the gross enrollment ratio is going to be met very shortly. Almost all students who qualify themselves in distance education mode are also treated as students in this mode. Then you have one more order here. Look at list of higher education institutes are recognized to offer online programs for 2022-23. There are some colleges, some universities which have also been recognized by the government to begin, see, distance education mode programs. Next slide. Empowerment and autonomy to innovate. Create something new. In 15 years, all affiliated colleges will be phased out through a graded system of autonomy. Beware Bharat College. Only 15 years of existence. You will have to necessarily become autonomous. See, we are ready, you may say, but are you ready to improve yourself so as to become an autonomous college? Existing affiliated university will be responsible for mentoring its affiliated colleges to handhold and guide. Maximum number of colleges affiliated by university not to exceed 300. All affiliated colleges to be accredited and become autonomous. You look at my square. What do you expect? How all colleges will become autonomous? Look at the number of autonomous colleges that you have in India as on date. Look at this. Autonomous colleges in India as on 24th of August 2022, they are 894. 894 autonomous colleges only. The Kastur Rangan committee says there are 50,000 colleges, most are commercial, no education taking place. And only 894 pan-India. And of the 894, look at this number, 554 in 4 states in South India. In South India, 554. And if you take out 144 in Maharashtra, that number will also fall rapidly. Look at the big states. Uttar Pradesh, only 14. Rajasthan, 8. Gujarat, 5. And Himachal Pradesh, 5. Punjab, 5. Uttarakhand, 4. This is the number. Bihar, only 2 autonomous colleges. This is the kind of situation that you have. All affiliated colleges to be accredited in autonomous. What do you expect? How are things going to change if this is the scenario that is existing in the country? This is a question that you'll have to ask yourself, and perhaps you may also have to ask the governments. Then the Draft University Grants Commission, conferment of autonomous status upon colleges and measures for maintenance of standards. You see, look at this circular dated 10th of October 2022. It says colleges, whether aided, partially aided or unaided and self-financing, are eligible to become autonomous provided they are under Section 2F of UGC Act. The college should have at least 10 years of existence. You meet both. The college must be accredited either by NAC with a minimum A grade, with a a score of 3.01 and above on a 4-point scale of NAC or by NBA for at least 3 programs, and so on and so forth. So what will you do? What will you do? The NAC has also very recently come up with a provisional accreditation for colleges where there will be only binary accreditation. It will say whether you are accredited or not, no grade, nothing. But the University Grants Commission very recently, as recently as on the 10th of October 2022, 10/10/2022, it has come up with a circular. Colleges can become autonomous provided they are in existence for the last 10 years and accredited by NAC with A grade. Can that be possible? Look at the institutional restructuring and consolidation, integration of all higher education into one system, including professional and vocational education. The present nomenclature of different types of universities will be removed and replaced by just one university name. And India's tradition of holistic and multidisciplinary education, point number 11, towards a more holistic education. India's tradition of holistic and multidisciplinary learning must be brought back. Kadambari of Banabhatta described a good education as knowledge of 64 kalas or arts. UG education in humanities and arts to be integrated with STEM. What is STEM? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics for positive learning outcomes. You see, arts education should not be isolated. It should be brought back and mixed with science, technology, engineering, and maths for positive learning outcomes. Arts education for well-rounded individuals with 21st century capabilities. I was making a reference to it earlier. Engineering will also move to holistic education with arts and humanities. Engineering colleges are also demanded, required as per NEP 2020 to introduce arts discipline also. So there is a question in AQR, it asks, delineate the vision plan of institution to transform itself into a holistic multidisciplinary institution. You may have to answer this question. All colleges may have to answer this question for AQR or SSR. Delineate the institutional approach towards integration of humanities and sciences with STEM. STEM, I was making a reference to science, technology, engineering, and maths, and provide the detail of program with combination. What are the new programs that are introduced to make the institution a holistic, multidisciplinary institution? How are arts and commerce courses integrated with STEM? These are some of the questions that will have to be prepared to answer and be ready with a positive plan of action, each of you attending this workshop. Implementation of multidisciplinary holistic education to higher education institutions. The NEP 2020 envisages a holistic and multidisciplinary education that would aim to develop all capacities of human beings: intellectual, aesthetic, artistic, social, physical, emotional, and moral in an integrated manner. Such an education will help develop well-rounded individuals that possess critical 21st century capacities, so on and so forth. One more circular. This circular was released on the 19th of July 2021. Then you have a small definition of what a well-rounded individual is. A well-rounded person is someone who is skilled, capable of, or knowledgeable in a lot of different things, or something that covers a lot of different areas or subjects. You see, you also have a book here on 21st century skills. Then it is continued 21st century skills 11.5. Imaginative, flexible curricular structures, multiple entry and exit points, removing rigid boundaries. Imaginative curricular structures. It is imagination which drives progress in any society, in any country, in any area, in any university. Imaginative structures. You may have heard of this Randy Pausch's last lecture in Carnegie Mellon University, a man who died very early. See, beautiful wife, 3 kids were there, and this man was diagnosed with cancer, and he delivered his wonderful last lecture on what he wanted to do and what he accomplished, what he is yet to accomplish. And he says, in Carnegie Mellon University, along with the dramatic, an individual, you see, who could teach drama, they prepared a syllabus for a postgraduate program, MS, in engineering, which teaches drama and which also teaches technology. The syllabus is so innovative, he says, you see, except Carnegie Mellon University, no other university would have permitted the faculty to innovate. In the whole world, this is the only university which has permitted us to innovate and come up with the syllabus for a 2-year postgraduate program that would send students outside with a certificate in drama as well as a certificate in technology. It was so powerful. The companies heard about it. As soon as they heard about the introduction of a new program, they came up and gave him, Randy Posh in Carnegie Mellon University, they gave him appointment orders for 3 batches of students. PG would be only for 2 years. They came and gave him orders, appointment orders for his future students. That means students who have not also joined in that program were given appointment orders. That is the kind of imaginative structures that we are speaking about. See, removing rigid boundaries. This is something, see, which gives me goosebumps whenever I make a reference to Randy Posh. Kindly, see, try to remember or scribble somewhere. Last lecture by Randy Posh, R-A-N-D-Y, P-A-U-S-C-H Posh. Randy Posh, Carnegie Mellon University, last lecture. Kindly make a note of it in the, try to follow it. High quality arts education, flexible curriculum, less by hearting or rote learning, emphasis on communication. Are you able to communicate what you want to? And interdisciplinary thinking, these are some of the things that are part of holistic education. New departments will be started, credit-based courses in community engagement. You see, are you going to the community from where you have come and serving them? Are you serving them? Environmental education, you see, environmental audit, gender audit, energy audit, and so on and so forth. You are speaking about value-based education and internship with local industry. Ultimately, your students should be in a position to serve the industry where they are going to get jobs, and businesses, artists, etc. to students for practical side of learning and employability. These are some of the things that are touched upon by new education policy. And now you also have this question in AQR and SSR. Does the institution offer flexible and innovative curricula that includes credit-based courses? It's not enough if you go and serve. For service that you render in an area, you should also enable your student to get a credit. 1 hour of doing service in per week in one area should enable the student to get at least 1 credit. So does the institution offer flexible, innovative curricula that includes credit-based courses and projects in the area of community engagement, service, and so on and so forth? Then, UG program either 3 or 4 year duration, multiple exit options with appropriate certifications. Earlier, when a student discontinued our first year, you would write on TC, Madam Kapoor would have signed TC, student discontinued after first year or discontinued after second year. So this is how we used to give transfer certificates. Now, 4-year bachelor's program leads to degree with research, preferred option. 3-year student, a student can obtain a certificate after completing 1 year. You don't say TC. You say completed 1 year, a certificate program in graduation, a diploma after completing 2 years, a bachelor's degree after 3 years program. Academic bank of credit to digitally store the academic credits. So look at the link that is given. And here you have the question 1D. What is the institutional plan for offering a multidisciplinary flexible curriculum that enables multiple entity exits? There is a lot of information about MBC. The other day, see, the chairman of UGC also delivered a lecture, and step by step, you see, his supporting officers also said how it can be implemented at the local level, college level, through the university, and also independently, how to make it possible for students to store their academic credits in the DigiLocker. All these things have been analyzed in a systematic manner. And I'll show you in the following slides the link to these things. Then there are these are the guidelines for multiple entry and exit in academic programs offered in higher education institutions. This is on 29th of July 2021. Then you also have other relevant orders from University Grants Commission relating to the academic bank of credits and the implementation of these academic bank of credits. 2 orders in now 4 days. On the 2 orders in 4 months. 22nd September 2022, one order came, and 26th of December, you see, on Boxing Day, another order came about the implementation of academic bank credits at the university level. Credits awarded, you see, look at the bottom, to a student for one program for an institution may be transferred, redeemed by another institution upon student's consent. You see, if a student wants to go from one college to another college, one university to another university, with his permission, and the credits that he has earned, which are stored in a DigiLocker, may be transferred by colleges. Credit transfer is the key to successful student mobility. See, earlier, if a parent was transferred from Punjab to Tamil Nadu, or Kerala to Gujarat, or Karnataka to Assam, it used to be a hell of a problem. Now, the mobility is very easy with the Academic Bank of Credits, which has been introduced by the NEP 2020 and as per the guidelines of a University Grants Commission. Then this was the lecture on the 29th of December, which is very systematic and comprehensive, which dealt with step by step. And then Bole sir had a very interesting question when I said, you see, it was comprehensive and systematic. Bole sir, what say? Say 2 universities are offering more or less the same kind of program or course. How do you register that particular paper, you see, in 2 different manners? That is what a very enlightening question is that Bole sir has come up with. He said, you see, it doesn't go so deep into it. It is now dealing with a particular way of making students and colleges enroll themselves into the credit registration of credit, creating an academic bank of credits, which has to be an initiative from the UGC through the state government, from the affiliating university to the academic setting to the college. A systematic channel has to be created for doing all these things. Please, it is available, you see. Jagdish Kumar, Madal Jagdish Kumar's lecture is available on the YouTube. Please feel free to visit it and see how systematically it unravels, you see, the steps to be taken by college as far as ABC is concerned. Then you have different types of master programs. 1 year master's program after a 4-year bachelor's program. There may be an integrated 5-year bachelor's and master programs, including a first-year degree to final year of PG. Undertaking a PhD requires a master's degree or a 4-year bachelor degree with research. MPhil program, as you all know, is discontinued. I'll be rushing a little where the slides are self-explanatory. MERUs are multidisciplinary education research universities. At least one in each district will be established, which will be on par with IITs, IIMs. Easily said than done. The central government is thinking of setting MERUs or multidisciplinary education research universities, one in each district, at least one. And they should be on par with IITs, IIMs to reach the global status or the Ivy League universities in the northeastern part of United States of America. Focus on research and innovation, startup and incubation, technology development. So many terms are being used by NEP 2020. Frontier, border areas of research centers, industry, academic linkages, interdisciplinary humanities, social science and research. You see, look at point number 11.12. How many items, how many ideas were covered? And what do you expect? Where are you? Is your college focusing on research? What kind of innovative activities are taken up by your college? Is there startup and incubation? You have to ask yourself. What is required from colleges? Technology development, is there any improvement in your college? And is the college aware of the frontier areas of research in the program that it is offering? And do you have any industry academic linkages? And are there any interdisciplinary humanities and social science research areas that your college is touching upon? These are some of the things that we have to think. Now we have come to almost to point number 12. We have up to 27 points and 9, 10, 11. 3 points have been covered. Don't worry, we'll do it. For effective learning, you have to have relevant curriculum, continuous assessment of students, formative, diagnostic, and summative assessment, adequate student support where the student is in need of academic or other kinds of support, regularly updated curriculum. Do not be complacent on old curriculum. Try to modify it in a periodical manner for specified learning outcomes. High quality pedagogy, the way of teaching, scientific assessment methods where the evaluation done by your college should get the same result even if the script is answered, evaluated elsewhere. Development of capacities for high quality learning. It's not enough if you teach. Are you able to improve the capacity for learning in students? That is one of the most important things that you'll have to ask you. Ask yourself, have I taught something? Or have I made my student curious to improve his way of learning, whether from me or from others, or whether independently or through distance education? Is he curious enough to improve his own learning? That is a question that he has to ask himself. Optimal learning environment support for students. Special programs for gifted students. You cannot club, see, average students, below average students, and gifted students on a same level. They will be bored, the gifted students. They should be in a position to complete programs at fast track mode. As on date, as on today, it is not there in India. But in America, a 2-year master's program can be completed in 1 year or 15 months or 18 months to see if the student is gifted. Can we do it in India? That's a question that you'll have to answer. What do we expect? You have to ask yourself. Autonomy to institutions and faculty to innovate on curriculum. But you see, we have seen that rule of autonomy where the college is supposed to be accredited by NAC at least 3.01 with 10 years of existence. What do? Pedagogy, autonomy to institutions and faculty to innovate on curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment. Opportunities for funding activities organized by students. Wonderful. Good idea. Funding activities organized by students, opportunities for funding activities which are organized by students will be funded. By whom? We are unsure. Faculty to act as mentors and guides, that we have been doing all through. All assessment systems should be decided by the higher education institution. Choice-based credit system or CBCS will have room for innovation and flexibility. HEA is to move away from high-stakes examination towards more continuous and comprehensive evaluation. In AICTE, in engineering colleges, in technology-driven colleges, you see, there is this system. If there are 2 or 3 internals and if the student chooses to answer only one internal examination, that will be taken into consideration to award marks to that particular student. Do we have that kind of system in UGC-driven or UGC monitored college? This is a question that you have to ask yourself. Funds and academic support to socio-economically disadvantaged students. Socio-economically disadvantaged students will be provided funds. Professional and academic and career counseling for all students. This is something mandatory to all colleges. Open distance learning programs to be equivalent to quality in class programs. That is what I was making a reference to the order by University Grants Commission, equivalent, bringing equality between regular college studies and distance education studies. This is a step to increase the gross enrollment ratio to 50%. All programs to achieve global standards of quality with internationally relevant curricula. You study a science subject, and if your student goes abroad, and if the authorities or the teachers find that your student is up to date in the frontier areas of learning in that particular subject, that is good. But if the teachers or the university think that the student has learned something obsolete, your students are not up to the mark. So internationally relevant curricula is to be taught to students. And it should also attract international students in India. Several students come to India from Gulf, from African countries there are students coming to India to pursue education in several colleges and universities. Similarly, our students go to Asiatic countries, Singapore, they go to UK, they go to also Denmark, they also go to America, as we all know. Mobility to Indian students to carry out research abroad. Even while they are studying here or doing research here, they'll also be permitted to work abroad for completing their research. Then internationalization of higher education. There are some guidelines given by University Grants Commission. This is an order from DP Singh, chairman of UGC, the then UGC, on the 29th of July 2021. Then optimal learning environment support for students, internationalization, premium education at affordable cost. Sometimes you see students are unable to join college because they are not in a position to afford the expenses. So we have to make education affordable. High performing universities set up campuses in other countries. Our colleges or universities capable of doing well may be permitted to start a college elsewhere in other countries if they are permitted to do so. World University from top 100 list to be permitted to operate in India. Please think about it. What do you expect? If colleges from abroad come to India and set shop by the side of your college, charging more or less the same fees, what will happen to your own admissions? Look at this point and critically evaluate what is going to take place in future. And look at the top 100 universities in the world. 2 are from UK and the other are from 2 are from United Kingdom and the other 4 are from America. Research collaboration, student exchanges with global institutions. And if a student does something, you see, of work in a foreign university, that will also be reckoned for award of degree in India. And look at this question in Brown. Describe the efforts of the institution for seamless collaboration, internalization of education, joint degrees between Indian and foreign institutions, and to enable credit transfer. This is something in a pipeline, and I think very shortly it will be realized. Then optimal learning environments continued, student participation in sports culture, etc. to be supported. There should be counseling systems in HEIs, all these things mentioned. Financial support for students. Expanded national scholarship portal for comprehensive financial support. Okay, that's good. But look at this, underlined. Private HEIs will be encouraged to offer larger number of free ships and scholarship to the students. How do you encourage? Suppose Mumbai University wishes to encourage Bharat College for Arts, Science and Commerce to give more scholarships without raising these fees. How is it possible? Is it feasible? These are some of the ideas that crop up in our mind. Private HEIs will be encouraged to offer large number of free tips and scholarships. Then you have one more point number 3, motivated, energized and capable faculty. How do you motivate teachers? Faculty recruitment, career progression, etc. will be systematic, methodical. They'll have professional development opportunities and increased compensation. Increase compensation, increase more money. Are there any part-time teachers in your college? Don't answer. Are there any hourly based teacher in your college? How are they going to be compensated? This is a question that you'll have to ask yourself, and of course ask the authorities. Low faculty motivation will be addressed, so they work for advancing students, institution and profession. Suppose there is a lecturer working, say, drawing 2 lakh rupees per month in your college, and there is one lecturer getting only 20,000. Will they be having the same kind of motivation and commitment? Can you demand that? Well, this is a question that you'll have to ask yourself. There are some pros and cons in the policy, but this is also one area where it is a little difficult to motivate staff who are not paid regularly or paid only meager salaries. HEI infrastructure to be improved using latest technology for better learning experience. Teacher-student ratio between 1:10 to 1:20. Teaching duties also allow time for interaction with students, research and other university activities. Faculty will not be transferable across institutions. Bharat group of institutions let us take the example. If it has several degree colleges, some of the teachers may be transferred to other colleges, but the order says faculty will not be transferred. In government, it is happening. What does this mean for you, for us, for the system? That is something that we'll have to ask ourselves. Faculty given freedom to design curricular and pedagogical approaches. It's only a suggestion. Rewards, promotion, recognition for excellence. Non-performers will be held to account. Non-performers will be there in schools, colleges, universities, in industries, in government also. They'll be held to account. How? It is something that you have to answer for yourself. Transparent recruitment process, probation periods, etc. Leadership position shall not remain vacant. That's what I was making reference to. Why should the people be made in charges? Why can't they be permanently recruited? Why should the colleges keep it like that? I've been a peer team member to one college in the south of India, where there was a person who was in charge principal. So there was this, you see, as peer team member and as the team of 3 people, we also asked the management, what kept you keeping one individual as an in charge when the NAC peer team is coming to visit the college? And they said, you see, we have so many problems, court cases and so on and so forth. This is a qualified man. We want him at the helm of affairs. He would get a good grade for the college and so on and so forth. Everyone has his own or her own difficulties. But why can't they be sorted out? Why should you see people continue to be in charges, see, for longer duration? These are some of the questions that you have to ask yourself. How faculties are encouraged to look at 2D and design their own curricular and pedagogical approaches within the approved framework, including textbook reading material selections and so on and so forth. Following the regular framework, what are the initiatives taken by the institutions or individuals? Then there is a very recent order, recruitment of faculty, 1 year old. Recruitment of faculty in universities, deemed institutions deemed to be universities and colleges, where look at the way in which the sentence is phrased. You will appreciate that faculty members are the pillars of all academic process and have the crucial responsibility to develop and so on and so forth. The UGC knows pretty well that faculty members are pillars of academic process, and what is it doing to fill the vacancies? Thousands of vacancies in degree colleges, university colleges are lying vacant. What is it doing? Now we come to my pet term, equity and inclusion in education. Look at this picture on the right side where my cursor is going. Equality is giving everyone the same amount or the same support. Look at these 3 people. Giving them each a same height box doesn't help this fellow to view what is happening on the other side of the wall or other side of the fence. Equity demands that the requirement of this individual is met by giving him what is needed to view what is happening. So the government of India, the Constitution of India doesn't speak of equity. Equity is from each according to his ability you can collect, to each according to his need we have to support. To each according to his need, that is equity. So look at the Constitution also and see if you can find the word equity there. Equitable access to quality education, emphasis on socioeconomically disadvantaged groups or underrepresented groups, equity and inclusion across school and higher education, lack of knowledge of opportunities, cost of pursuing higher education, financial constraints, admission processes, language barriers, student support mechanism will be addressed. I think you see Kapoor madam has been perhaps conducting induction programs as per the guidelines of a University Grants Commission, student induction programs. Student induction programs are conducted in the beginning of the academic year for the benefit of the fresh students, where they are made aware of the opportunities cost, financial constraints if they have any, how they can circumvent, and what are the admission processes followed. If there are any language barriers they are facing, how to circumvent them, and what are the student support mechanisms, what are the facilities, all these things you'll have to make them. And the cluster, IQAC cluster, in a way, in a different manner, has been conducting induction programs to almost 4,000 members on the Telegram group, where the principals, where the IQAC coordinators, where the fresh lecturers are also present. You see, Bole sir, Kangude sir, Pahade sir, the inimitable Ayub Sheikh sir, you see, Gauri Devastale and Pingal sir, and Badruddin Sheikh madam, they are coming up with, you see, various ways and various webinars to acclimatize, you see, staff from Assam to Kerala, from Gujarat, Haryana, Punjab to Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, telling, you see, how, what kind of opportunities are existing for quality sustenance in a different manner. Induction program is also being conducted by the IQAC to familiarize the staff on various things, on how to circumvent things, on how to fight for quality sustenance in institutions, overcoming the impediments that they may have been facing. You see, and I'm proud that I've been able to do a little, you see, in the cluster group, and knowing, you see, all these people whom I have mentioned earlier. So this will have to be addressed by institution. Additional actions by all governments and HEAs, steps to be taken by government. These are some things which you will have to note. Government budgets, half of government budgets for socio-economically disadvantaged groups. Not all the budget, half the budget allotted for education, and targets for improving GER, gender balance. If there are only boys, try to balance, admit more number of girls, enhanced access, special education rules, larger number of socio-economically disadvantaged groups should also be provided admission. Support to HEAs that teach in local language or bilingually, outreach on HEA, more financial assistance and scholarships to SCDGs, outreach on HEA opportunities and scholarships among SCDs. I was making a reference to this. Adopt a school, adopt a neighborhood, adopt, see, rural areas, go to them and tell them, you see, about the outreach. What are the opportunities that are available, you see, in your college, or for the progress of that particular locality, for the development of those particular students. You see, outreach program should also be practiced by colleges. This is something I request all the members to kindly remember and take it back with you after the seminar to your college, discuss with them, tell your IQAC members, request the principal to support it, and also tell your management on the need for introducing outreach activities at the college level. This is something you have to keep in your mind. Technology tools for better participation and learning outcomes. Then, why this seminar? You see, this slide will tell you. Steps to be taken by all HEAs. Reduce opportunity cost and fees. Is it possible? More financial assistance to SCDGs, outreach on the opportunities, and so on and so forth. Is this possible? This is something you have to ask yourself. Thank you. A wonderful reaction. Anyway, see, what are the steps to be taken by all HEAs for development and implementation of NEP 2020? And then all facilities to be Divyangan friendly. All facilities to be given to Divyangan to make the institution Divyangan friendly. And here is a link to access education. And you can also download it and see how Divyangan friendly a college can become by following the sign language and so on and so forth. Then there is also a public notice from the UGC on 28th September 2022, guidelines for credit-based course and pedagogical aspects of teaching Divyangans are differently abled. This is something that you'll have to follow. Teacher education is also to be reoriented. I'll skip it. But teacher education is to be grounded in educational values. It is to be revitalized. Yours is not a B.Ed college, but if your B.Ed students are there, if you have your Bharat College, Bharat Foundation has B.Ed colleges, perhaps they can look at it, the point number 15. And look at what Robert Frost said. I'm not a teacher, but an awakener. That is what a teacher is supposed to do when students come to their schools. One important point. Teacher education institutes to get government funding support to become multidisciplinary. Here is what do you expect? If teacher education institutions are to be given money, why not the other degree and PG college? This is a question that you'll have to ask yourself and ask your representatives, MLA or MP or your university vice chancellor. See, if TEIs are to be given funding, why not a regular degree college and PG college? Teacher education continues. And then vocational education is also to be supported. There is a higher and urgent need for spreading vocational education to make the nation a skilled nation. And the point number 16 deal with the vocational education. Promoting high quality research, National Research Foundation will be set up. Knowledge creation, research for growing and sustaining a large, vibrant economy. To become a leader, India requires expansion of research capabilities and outputs. But pathetically, pitiably, look at the amount spent for research. Research and innovation investment in India is 0.69% of GDP, gross domestic product, whereas it is high in United States is 2.8, in Israel 4.3, in South Korea it is 4.2, and we are not even 1% in funding our research. The NEP also envisages high quality interdisciplinary research in arts and humanities to be undertaken. 1 minute, just 1 minute. Settings get disturbed. See, thank you anyway. Sorry for taking time. High quality interdisciplinary research in arts and humanities needed for addressing societal changes like clean drinking water. See, sustainable development goals of the United Nations, they are also given here. See, are we in a position to get clean drinking water in every nook and corner of the country? In every nook and corner of the city, even in college, are we able to provide clean drinking water for our students? This is something that you have to ask yourself. Proper sanitation. As peer team members, when we go as part of NAC visiting committees, we go to the bathrooms, restrooms of boys and girls in every college. This is a basic thing. See, if we are sending a student to a college, he should enjoy the same facility that he would get in his own house. So sanitation and quality education, drinking water, sanitation, quality education, healthcare, improved transportation to go to college, air quality. Look at the air quality in Delhi, in Mumbai. Energy and infrastructure, are these sufficiently taken care of by colleges? These are some of the things that you have to think about. Innovations in sciences and social sciences, extremely important. Research and innovation occur in environments where a strong culture of research and knowledge creation exists. Have you ever seen a cultural activity? Have you seen a cultural program in your own college? A college day program where students come and dance and sing. Automatically, we keep dancing. We feel like humming a tune. Similarly, for research also, if there is an environment which is conducive for research, you see, students will also take to it. Teachers will have to take steps to make it possible. Greater investments are needed in research and innovation. Schools to lay emphasis on scientific methods at the school level. National Research Foundation to be set up for funding or support and research. And 17.10, the NRF has to enable research culture. Successful research to be recognized and implemented. Linkages with governmental agencies, industry, private and philanthropic organizations is to be encouraged. Is the government, is UGC taking any step in this direction? This is a question that you have to ask. What do you expect? And you have this question. What will the NRF, National Research Foundation, do? It will fund competitive peer-reviewed grant proposals. It will seed, grow, and facilitate research at academic institutions, that is college, universities. It will act as a liaison between researchers and government and industry, recognize outstanding research. It will also produce expert reports, etc., and advise for the benefit of researchers with linkages. And there should always be link between universities and industry for use in industrial houses. The university should come up with research outcomes, publications, patents. So it should be a two-way process. And here you have a circular from University Grants Commission, one dated 5th September 2022 and the other dated 26 December 2022 of how it is calling, UGC is calling for applications for research. And there is also a portal of University Grants Commission on fellowship and research grant. Transforming the regulatory system of higher education. Regulation of higher education is heavy-handed. The Kasturirangan Committee accepts it. Regulation of higher education by distinct, independent, and empowered bodies. A Higher Educational Commission of India will be set up. A new body will be set up. The first vertical of HECI is National Higher Education Regulatory Council, NHERC. It will regulate in a light but tight and facilitative manner. It adjudicates and collects feedback online. So it will decide whether we are following the right direction or not, and it will also decide online. Then you have a second vertical, National Accreditation Council. In the place of the present NAC, NAAC, there will be only one, a National Accreditation Council. It will judge colleges or evaluate colleges, accredit colleges on the basic norms, public self-disclosure, good governance, and outcomes. We are not inspecting as peer team members. We are not trying to find fault with the colleges. We are trying to learn on what are the systems that are followed, what are the systems that are in vogue in colleges. That is something that you have to look at colleges when you visit them as members of the peer team. Then what more do you have? Transforming and regulating.
બાકી બધાના લઈને છોડ્યા છે. વિધિ આવી છે ને? ઓકે.
Am I bothering anyone, or can I continue?
No, sir, please continue.
Sorry. Third vertical of HECI, fourth vertical, and so on and so forth. You have Higher Education Grants Council, General Education Council, and so on and so forth. And there'll also be a National Higher Education Qualification Framework, NHEQF, formulated by GEC, and so on and so forth. And the General Education Council sets up, last but second point, sets up norms for credit transfer, equivalence, etc. through National Higher Education Qualification Framework. GEC will identify specific skills students must acquire with the aim of preparing well-rounded learners with 21st century skills. If you are to award a BA degree, if you are to award a BCom degree or a BSc degree, you have particular subjects to be studied by students. Similarly, to be able to get a degree with 21st century skills, you will have to follow the recommendations that are made by different bodies. And we have one more circular from the University Grants Commission about what NHEQF speaks about. Draft National Higher Education Qualification Framework. See, the points are written here in a detailed manner. You can look at them a little later. Transforming the regulatory system of higher education. Professional standards setting bodies, PSSBs, will be set up. What are they like? Like ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, ICAR. We say Veterinary Council of India, NCTE, National Council of Teacher Education. They'll be invited to be a member of General Education Council. They would tell the curriculum framework to set standards in particular fields of learning and practice, but they have no regulatory role. Responsibility and accountability shall be delegated to HES. No distinction and expectation between public and private universities. Sometimes when we go to colleges, they say, sir, we are a government college. don't expect to see this kind of performance. But the expectations, as UGC says, should be equal. What a private college is able to achieve, the government college should also be able to achieve. Because the government colleges, staff are getting a higher salaries or regular salaries as per the UGC norms, whereas in private college, there may not be full-time appointments. So norms should be the same. And I think, see, as a union leader who fought for the rights of students and staff as well, I think, you see, norms should be equal and opportunity should be equal. Pay should also be equal to staff working in private colleges. Such a transformation requires existing structures and institutions to reinvent themselves, undergo an evolution of sorts. This is what colleges are expected to undergo. Transforming the regulatory system of higher education, all these bodies should use technology, human interface to ensure efficiency. Setting up of new quality HAs will be made easier. If you want to start a college, it will be easier. Curbing commercialization of education is one important thing. Mechanisms to combat and stop commercialization of HA will be priority of regulatory. Regulatory system will have to take appropriate measures to control commercialization. But in the beginning, we have seen how Kasturirangan committee said 50,000 colleges, no education taking place in most of them. They are commercial. And so they say at some point, 18.12, mechanism to combat and stop commercialization of higher education. Continues. All HEAs, public and private, treated on par. Encouragement for private philanthropic efforts. India is able to have so many colleges, not just because by government funding, but because of the initiatives taken by private individuals. Look at that Srimati Nathibai Damodar Thakare Women's University. What do you call it? Srimati Nathibai Damodar Thakare Women's University in Maharashtra. What is its short name?
SNDT, sir.
Oh, wonderful. You are all aware. So it is because of private enterprise, encouragement for private philanthropic efforts, elimination of commercialization, minimal guidelines to start private HAs, good governance, financial stability and security, educational outcomes, transparency of disclosures, both for private and public at the same level. Philanthropic private HAs will be encouraged. Look at this. 18.14, underline it, make a note of it, 18.14 in NEP 2020. Philanthropic private HAs will be encouraged. At least 20% of their students are to attend through free trips. So if you are a Bharat Foundation College is a philanthropic college, you should provide 20% students with no fee or free education and 30% through scholarships. If a college is to provide education to 50% of its students without charging them, how is it going to pay the salaries to teaching and non-teaching staff? What amount is to be collected from the rest of the students? This is a question that we'll have to ask. Some are practical, some are impractical. Some are clearly stated, some are not clearly enunciated. This is the situation in NEP 22. There are two sides to a coin. I was asking in the beginning, do you have a coin? Do you have a note? Look at it. Does it have two sides? There is no coin without the other side. See, NEP 2020 also has other side. It says so many things, but is it practical in every aspect? That is something that you have to ask yourself. It is a good direction in a new manner, but we have to read between the lines also. Effective governance and leadership for higher education institutions. The culture of excellence, innovation, merit-based appointments will be encouraged. Graded accreditation autonomy to all colleges in 15 years. All HEIs to become independent, self-governing institutions. There will be a BOG or Board of Governors to administer without external interface. No political, no official intervention. All HEAs will be incentivized. What does it mean? Supported and mentored to become autonomous with an empowered BOG by 2035. So this college, Bharat College, It will have to be autonomous by 2035, but following the guidelines, you'll have to get an NAC A grade. BOG responsible for outcomes of HEI to stakeholders and meet guidelines of National Higher Education Regulatory Authority, NHERA. Here is a question from AQR and SSR. Describe the institutional initiative to transform its curriculum towards outcome-based education. What exactly is outcome-based education? Are you able to prepare the outcomes for each course and for the program? For BA program, for BCom program, for BSc program. See, University Grants Commission has on its own website, given a list of program outcomes for different disciplines. Have you looked at it? Otherwise, I request all the members who are attending this seminar. Of the 96 people who registered, there are only 88 at present. See, all the 88 members are requested to kindly find out if the college has done something as far as outcome-based education is relevant. If it has prepared a program outcomes and course-wise outcomes. And you are also required to explain the efforts made by you to capture the outcome-based education and teaching learning practices. This is something that you'll have to do. What do you expect? All leadership positions to persons with high academic qualifications, recruitment, administrative and leadership capabilities, their selection by BOG through a rigorous, impartial, merit-based and competency-based process. Look at this. Selection of leaders through rigorous, impartial, merit-based and competency-based process. Someone would say, what a joke. No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing if we can implement it. HEA is to be committed to excellence, engagement with local communities, highest standards of financial probity and accountability. The BOG will have an institutional development plan. IDP is very important. IDP, institutional development plan, is to be adhered to. Then there is a point, I will not touch it, professional education, but we will also look at this. What are the institution plans to train its faculties to provide classroom delivery in bilingual mode, English and vernacular, maybe Marathi, maybe Hindi, maybe Telugu. These details are to be provided. Provide details of the degree courses taught in Indian language and bilingual in the institution. That is to be answered in SSR and also AQR. Other key areas, we are coming almost to the end. Professional education, maybe pharmacy education, health science education, medical, surgical, all these things are also touched upon in this. Then you have adult education and lifelong learning. Always think of having an adult education center through your NCC, NSS, and also the initiatives like IQAC. Adopt a community, adopt a locality where your students and your teachers will be able to go and teach at least some people on how to sign, how to write their name, how to read and write. This is something that you'll have to do as far as NEP 2020 implementation is concerned. What are the initiatives to be taken by colleges? Foundational literacy, obtaining education, pursuing a livelihood to be basic rights of every citizen. I'll skip this also, point number 21, because it deals with adult education. Then promotion of Indian language, art and culture as part of your academic aspect. Preservation and look at this. Preservation, promotion of India's cultural wealth, a high priority for nation's identity and economy, its economy. Promotion of Indian arts and culture important both to individual and social, societal well-being. Indian arts must be offered to students at all levels. And language is an inextricable link to art and culture. You may be fluent in English. Some are very versatile in English. They speak English better than their speech in mother tongue. But the language that we are born into, the language that we use at home is linked to our culture. That is something that we'll have to protect. And the look at society through our culture, through our language, may be perhaps different from our perception of society through English education or English. So what are the efforts made by the college to promote vernacular Indian language. And it also points out that over 220 Indian languages were lost in the last 50 years. No action has been taken so far to protect that. And even the 22 languages of 8th schedule of Indian Constitution are facing serious difficulties. Teaching and learning of language to be integrated with education at every level. Language imparting teaching is to be given importance. Scarcity of skilled language teachers, language to be used extensively for conversation and teaching learning. Recently, we tried to recruit teachers for Sanskrit and Hindi. Not many qualified people are coming forward for teaching Sanskrit or even for Hindi. It is very difficult in Andhra Pradesh to recruit teachers in Sanskrit and teachers in Hindi. I do not know what is happening elsewhere. Teaching to be in home local language and conduct experiential language learning. Every HEI to have artists in residence to expose students to art, creativity, etc. Look at 22.9. There is a picture here. Artists in residence to provide that kind of cultural training. HEI is to use mother tongue or local language as medium instruction, and 4-year B.Ed dual degree programs will also be offered bilingually. Promotion of Indian language, arts and culture is to be continued. Look at this on the right side, Marathi to English and English to Marathi translation. Programs and degrees in translation and interpretation will also be created. 100 tourist destinations in India will be identified so that institution will send students to study them. This is one thing very important. The 87 people remaining here, you see, should try to take home this message. Identify tourist spots. The 100 tourist spots identified by the government should be visited in groups by students and staff. And if there are any outside these 100 spots, they should also be visited to know the greatness of Indian culture and Indian systems and arts. Programs and degrees which contribute to conservation of our heritage as well as to India's tourism industries will be introduced. Why do people go abroad to visit different places? Don't we have the culture? Are we not an ancient race? Don't we have, historically significant universities? I was making a mention of Takshashila, Nalanda, Vallabhi, and Vikramshila, and there are other important places where language and culture flourish. Should we not take our students to those places? This is something that we'll have to go there. In Puri, in Jagannath temple, you have a culture running to thousands of years where communities are taught how to cook food in clay pots and use them, use the food, serve the food on banana leaves and not in plastic or steel other containers, to provide impetus to the local people and also to spread that culture of using clay pots and so on and so forth. Why not we do it? That is the question that is raised in point number 22. All an Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretation will also be set up. Sanskrit will be mainstreamed and will be a language option, 3-language formula. And these are some of the initiatives that are being taken up to promote Indian language, art, and culture. Look at 22.18. For language in 8th schedule, academies will be established. For other languages also, academies will be established. Now, we'll go to the next point. Use of technology and integrating it with the academy. India is a global leader in information and communication technology. If all the people abroad from India stop work for 1 day or 1 week, the several nations will collapse. Particularly in America, where it is supported by the people from India, taking up various jobs in Silicon Valley or in other areas. Technology trained so many students to go abroad and get jobs for themselves. And it is their greatness that is sustaining the economy of these countries. India is a global leader in information and communication technology. Digital India campaign is helping transform it into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. The relationship between technology and education at all levels is bidirectional. It is a two-way traffic, not a one-way traffic. Technology impacts education in multiple ways. It requires research and so on and so forth. This is to be supported. And you have a National Education Technology Forum or NETF, an order given by the government. Workshop, there is a workshop on capacity building of faculty members on technology enabled learning. So this is an order of 5th September, Teachers Day on 2022. This is also to be seriously looked into. Use of technology and integration continued, and how the NETF organizes regional, national conferences. And there is also a reference in this slide. Look at 23.7 about emerging disruptive technologies. Existing technologies are disrupted by the introduction of new technologies, which are not bad, which are good, but the existing setup will be completely, totally transformed. And how it is going to help or benefit or ruin the existing structures, this is also to be looked at, says in NEP 2020. And there is a reference to 23.8, disruptive technology, artificial intelligence and virtual reality, how it is going to be an aid to skilled professionals, but how NETF will look at the effect of disruptive technologies. And there is also a reference to National Research Foundation, how it is going to expand research. Technology use and integration is also continued. Universities will also offer master's programs and PhDs in core areas such as machine learning and multidisciplinary fields. What do they teach you? Look at the picture on the right side and the details. 3D printing, 5G and improved connectivity, artificial intelligence and machine learning, automation and robotics, cyber security advances, edge computing, virtual and augmented reality, headless technology, the rise of as a service computing, the work from home revolution. Corona has taught us in 2020 and 2021, and even also in 2022, how to work from home. It revolutionized Indian education, even the world education in one way. So all these things have to be made use of, says NEP 2020, integrating technology use in colleges, universities. Then online and digital education, point number 24, we have only 27 points. Ensuring equitable use of technology. Equitable, please remember equity. Equity is giving, see, someone what he or she needs sufficiently to enable him or her to take up the work. Using technology has advantages, but there are also risks and dangers which have to be taken care of. Digital device to be eliminated. In urban areas, you have cell phones, laptops, and then pads, iPads, and so on and so forth. What about the rural areas? What about the SCDG, socioeconomical disadvantaged groups, where they can't afford? This digital divide is to be bridged. Teachers need also training. Traditional teachers like me, perhaps, see, who were taught using chalkboard and pencil, now using whiteboards, technology, and LCDs. All these things have to be taught to people like me on how to use latest technology. And you will be asked in SSR and IAQR also, on the right side, 6B, look at this point. Describe about the development and use of technological tools for teaching learning activities. Kindly have a few crash courses, training programs for your teachers, for your students, but especially for your teachers and students, for your non-teaching staff, on how to use technology tools for teaching learning activities. Are they able to use virtual labs? Are they able to prepare PPTs? Are they able to use whiteboards? All these things are to be given importance in academic interaction in the colleges every year, every semester. And blended learning is also something to be thought about. Given the emergence of digital technology, the policy recommends following key initiatives, pilot studies, online teaching, virtual labs, and so on and so forth. But look at the last line. Technology in education is a journey. Using technology is not the goal. It is only a phase in imparting education. It is not a destination. To deliver high quality learning, a vibrant ecosystem has to be encouraged to create solutions that solve India's challenges. Right. Making it happen, we are almost coming to end, making how NEP 2020 can be made to take place, making in India. Strengthening the Central Advisory Board of Education, CABE. It will be responsible for developing and articulating, evaluating and revising a vision of education on continuous basis. Several teachers, principals, IQAC coordinators keep asking us on Telegram group, can we change our vision? Savita Punjabi madam was making a reference to it. Change the only thing constant. You can change your vision and mission statements with the changed system of realities with NEP 2020. So vision of education should be evaluated and revisited on a continuous basis. The MHRT to be redesignated as MOE. Affordable quality education for all, nothing more than that about financing. Public expenditure on education has been around 4.43% of GDP. It is less. It should be increased to 6%. There'll be an increase in public investments in education by central and state governments. Central government and state governments to increase funding. Financial support will be provided to ensure universal access, etc., as shown below. These are the steps. Universal provisioning of quality early childhood care, foundational literacy, adequate and appropriate resourcing of school complexes, food and nutrition, the free meal, investing in teacher education, revamping colleges and universities to foster excellence. This is an area in which we are interested at college level. Cultivating research, one more area. Extensive use of technology and online education. These are some of the things which are of interest to us in HEI. Even the low level of funding is not released on time. That is to be seen that it is see, if the financial year is ends on March 31st, releasing the fund in the month of March or after 15th of March and asking them to spend that money quickly, it doesn't solve any problem. So it has to be released in an appropriate time. The policy calls for rejuvenation, active promotion, support for 5 private philanthropic activities. Kastur Rangan committee is very clear. Always speaks about private people coming and funding. 50% of our education to provide in private philanthropic institutions should be free. So support to philanthropic activity in education sector. Light but tight regulatory approach mandates full public self-disclosure of finances and so on and so forth. So all these things are to be made available on your website. How much money you received, how much money is spent. The transparency in finances is to be made available on your website. Implementation of the policy will be led by various bodies like Ministry of Human Resource Development, which has become now MOE, Ministry of Education, CABE, Union and State Governments, Education related ministries, State Departments of Education with timelines and a plan of review. Implementation of spirit and intent of the policy, then initiatives in a phased manner. There will be priorities and comprehensive implementation. And since education is a concurrent subject which falls on both in the domains of center and state, there'll have to be a concerted effort between them and timely infusion of requisite resources, human, infrastructure, and financial. Financial is always at the end from the government and providing support at appropriate time. A very recent order that has come to light. What we have seen in the very beginning, fourth or fifth slide, the initiatives that have been taken so far on the 2nd of August 2021, the detailed orders from University Grants Commission and Ministry of Education, they are mentioned here. And the last slide, last but one slide, Careful analysis and review of linkages between multiple parallel implementation steps will be necessary. You have to analyze how these are being taken up at a state and central levels. Implementation strategy. Look at the picture on the strategy. How are you implementing it? Are you motivating? Are you analyzing? Is it futuristic? Is it dynamic? Is it progressive? Is it problem solving? All these are some of the ideas that are reflected on the program, on the picture in the right side. Subject-wise implementation committees of experts in cooperation, consultation with other relevant ministries will be set up at both the central and state levels to develop detailed implementation plans for each aspect of this, and reviews will be shared with the Central Advisory Board of Education. This is the last point. And the summation is this. In the decade 2030-40, next decade, the entire policy will be in operational mode. By 2030-40, everything will be put into action, following which another comprehensive review will be undertaken. So after 2040, 20 years of existence, this is NEP 2020, and you may expect NEP 2040 after the end of this implementation. This is what I just wanted to. And as usual, I am always short of time. I have so many things to share. I have so much only a limited time at my disposal. And whenever I present this, I always send a draft to 4 of my advisors. One from Akinina Nageshwarrao College, PJS Kumar, my student and now the principal. Then there is a Samundeswari Madam from APC Mahalakshmi College, Thuthukudi. Then there is a Professor Panigrahi, Sasmita Panigrahi from the Department of Computer Science, Orissa. And there is Farjana Chavre from Kalsekar Degree College, Kausa, Maharashtra. And there is one Miss Mahalakshmi Sloka from All Saints, Norman. These are the 5 people who keep encouraging me and helping me in preparing my PPT. That's it. I'm ready now to take any of your questions. I have stopped sharing. One thing I just want to make clear. I'm sharing this PPT only with the organizers of this seminar. Earlier, we were in the habit, the IQAC cluster group is in the habit of sharing a PPT like this with every one of the participants. Sorry, friends, I cannot do it this time. Perhaps I'll post it on the IQAC cluster website with the permission of Bole sir and Pahade sir and Kangde sir and Aib sir. And only members of IQAC cluster Telegram group will be able to download it. Or you can even write to the IQAC ANRC and borrow that PPT, PDF of that PPT for your use. Thank you for bearing with me from 10:45 to 13:08 or 1:08. Thank you so much. I'm ready to take any questions, answer any queries. There are a few questions I've seen here. Questions whether an autonomous college can directly register itself through into the ABC portal. It has to be an initiative of the university to which you are affiliated. Through them, your ABC portal can start functioning. Please wait to get guidance from them. That is what I would like to answer. And anything else, any other question that needs to be raised can be raised by that. NEP has already been started in various colleges, in various states. It is already implemented. There are some states, even like Andhra Pradesh, where it is offering admission to the four-year degree course. And at the end of 3 years, almost all the students leave, taking a bachelor's degree of 3 years and joining a PG of 2 more years. There is a question asking, to be effective in implementation of NEP, should the college become autonomous. NEP envisages that all colleges should become autonomous in a given time frame, and it is better to get qualified in NAC with at least 3.01 or plus grade, and then go for autonomy. Anything that I missed? Madhuri Nandanwar madam has been asking about detailed circular or document for ABC. They are there in this PPT. Almost all the documents related to implementation of ABC are given here. Anything else? It is over to Madam Kulkarni, Professor Kulkarni, if there is anything to be added, if any question is to be raised. How shall a teacher prepare himself or herself for NEP? You have seen, you see, a 98 slide presentation rushed in 2.5 hours. Look at this. How are you trying to make your students holistic? What are the outreach programs? What is it that you are doing to identify slow and advanced learners? What are the opportunities given to students to educate themselves to reach the international level of standards in education? These are some of the things that you'll have to know for yourself, and your IQACs must take initiatives to bring about these subjects and periodically meet and discuss and come up with suggestions. Staff members should come up with suggestions on how this can be implemented. Before you ask a question on a Telegram group, I request all the members, you see, asking questions on Telegram group, kindly discuss in your IQAC, in your college. And if you can't find a solution, raise it there. These are some of the things that we keep asking. It is over to you now. Madam Panigrahi.
Yes, thank you, sir, for such a systematic and comprehensive presentation. Now I request everyone that if you have any question, you can raise hand and yes, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Yes, Neetu ma'am has a question. Yes, ma'am, please.
Sir, my question is, we are single faculty college. So
Just 1 minute, 1 minute. Men and delivery boys, everyone, they find it very convenient to disturb a webinar and ring the bell. Sorry for taking 1 minute. Yeah.
Sir, my question is that we are single faculty college, and for single faculty college scoring NEP with 3.1 under NAC is really
Are you an aided college or a
yes, we are
self-financed?
aided college, sir.
You're an aided college.
Yes.
NEP envisages colleges to grow to the level of having 3,000 students and offer holistic multidisciplinary education. You'll have to introduce so many new courses, and colleges will be phased out, integrated. Small colleges will come and form into colleges, bigger colleges. You have a bigger compound, you have a big premises. So they'll be brought together instead of having so many small colleges catering to 500 students, 600 students. They'll be having larger campuses with 3,000 students in future, offering multidisciplinary education, introducing several. Instead of having single faculty, then you'll have many faculty members offering
Okay. Sir, and secondly, what I feel is for teachers also, we need to have a multidisciplinary approach. For example, if I teach accounts, I need to undergo some training for.
Exactly.
Yes, for
It's
account.
the responsibility of state government, State Council of Higher Education, if you have, and the university to see that the multidisciplinary approaches are imparted to staff members. Unless the teacher is trained to impart multidisciplinary education, how can these students get benefit of NEP 2020 and its suggestions? Definitely, Madam Kapoor, you need to undergo the training that is required to be passed on to students in order to implement NEP 2020. You're right, madam.
Because someone asked, not teachers, how do they need to prepare? We also.
And you can also apply to the University Grants Commission and Deen Dayal Institute and other colleges to have a kind of 21-day refresh program or whatever on how to prepare staff members to the NEP 2020 requirements. Faculty development programs are also possible. That is something that will have to be taken up at the college level, university level, state council level, and the government level at the state and center.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sasmita ma'am has question, I think. Ma'am, you can unmute and ask.
Professor Pranigrahi, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Sir, actually, I wanted to ask the question which was just answered by you, asked by Dr. Kapoor. Sir, actually, we are implementing the syllabus by the state government. So how can we implement this multidisciplinary approach in that?
There is no state government approach and no central government approach. They'll have to be integrated.
Sir.
Integrated. Outcome-based education, LOCF of University Grants Commission, which gives direction to the universities. The universities are recognized by the University Grants Commission and funded by University Grants Commission. Whatever suggestions are made by University Grants Commission to state universities also, they'll have to be implemented at the university level and they'll have to be passed on to university. You are an autonomous college, no?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
An autonomous college. Following the
Sir.
broad guidelines. See,
Sir.
University Grants Commission has certain guidelines, certain credit systems for each credit to be able to earn a particular credit in a particular science or arts or commerce or computer science program. You'll have
Yes,
to
sir.
complete this number of hours, this number of training classes have to be taken place. So
Sir.
all these are as per the UGC syllabus prescribed syllabus. So they'll have to be necessarily imparted by the college as per the direction of the university. Don't think that your university is following only self-studied discipline. No, it has some bearing of the central syllabus also in its programs.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes, Neha madam. Please unmute.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, NEC is Tikri College for the implementation of NEP.
Would you mind repeating it, ma'am?
NAC is compulsory or not that she is.
Yeah. You want to excel. You want to show that you are excellent. You want to show that you are accredited. Unless, you see, students passing out of colleges with a NAC A grade will be able to get, you see, opportunities to get to scholarship and some kind of preferential treatment is given to students going from NAC accredited college so with a A grade or more. All colleges to be accredited by 2035. No private, no government, no exception. So either you get accredited or you do not exist. There is no free travel, you see, in a bus or a train without ticket like that. There are a couple of questions in the chat box. Kuldeep Singh sir said, our education system is based on theoretical knowledge. No rote learning, practical approach, industry collaboration. See, this is to be implemented. You are supposed to train students to work for industries, business houses, and also to give back outreach program for community service, all these things. We'll have to adopt our institutions to the needs of the present generation and present century, or we do not survive. We have to adapt ourselves to the latest requirements. Up to 2040, we'll have to follow the NEP 2020. Then there will be a new education policy. Then Nirmal Sahuji asked one question: how to implement multiple entry and exit when college is affiliated to university? Universities will also follow suit. Universities will also follow suit. Instead of writing TC discontinued after first year and second year and so on and so forth, you will be said, you will be writing, you see, certificate after 1 year, diploma after 2 years of graduation, and like that. So universities, in consonance with colleges, they will come to an agreement on how to allow, permit, you see, multiple entries and exits in colleges for student progress. Anything else?
Sir, Asmita here. I wanted to ask regarding PhD and research in, NEP. Like MPhil has been phased out, but what NEP is encouraging PhD, or it says that's what do you feel? Will PhD also be phased out when we go for merit-based teaching system? Because I am like a CA who is into teaching. So so what is your view on PhD being phased out?
Wonderful.
And second, sir, I want to ask about these research papers. I recently saw something in the newspaper saying that UGC has made it not mandatory to publish in journals before completing PhD. So is this also a part of NEP notifications?
I'll tell you, it has made it possible for researchers not to be worried about publishing their papers of their research work before submitting their PhD. It was mandatory in most of the universities that the work that has been undertaken so far for completing PhD is to be published in papers. That is done away with. It is only to facilitate the student, not to undermine the value. PhD is continued, MPhil is discontinued. But University Grants Commission is aware that there are several universities offering fake PhD certificates, and from time to time it is coming up with the names of colleges or universities, self-raised colleges or universities granting PhD degrees, saying that it is not they are not valid, they are not recognized, and University Grants Commission is not also capable of taking action on those colleges continuously giving PhD degrees. And then distance education PhDs are not encouraged, they are discouraged. PhD as a part-time teacher, as a part-time research scholar in university, if you are already employed in a college, either in faculty development program or only as a part-time, can be taken up. And the work is valued. Its originality is valued, definitely. And PhD is not going to be undermined even in future. It will continue. MPhil is a different thing. So don't be discouraged by that model.
So research papers, is it a part of notification?
Yeah,
NEP
research papers
it?
will be given credit only if they are published in UGC care list of journals. Because tomorrow you will, or I will, or somebody else will start a journal saying that I'll give you so many marks for this paper. Only UGC care list of journals, the paper publications will be given value. Otherwise, you see, you will not get value for your research publications.
So it has been discontinued, the mandatory. Now it is optional. So is this also a part of NEP notification, and where can I get that?
NEP also says that the UGC care list journal publications are to be given weightage, not the peer-reviewed journals. Everybody is a peer. There are so many self-styled peer-reviewed journals saying that send me 1,000 rupees and a research paper, you will get a certificate and a copy of your paper. No, that kind of research papers are not encouraged. You have to get it published in peer-reviewed maybe, but you have to get them in care list journals. It is difficult, I know. It is difficult, but that is what sometimes happens. See, if you want originality to come onto light.
And so even if the UGC is recognizing, if the college is pressurizing you, where you are doing your PhD to publish research papers, and I just because
you don't have to publish your research paper before submitting your PhD. No. Unless you publish papers, you cannot submit your PhD dissertation to the university. That was the condition earlier. Now, without even publishing your research papers, you can submit your PhD. And you can later also, you can publish the extract from your dissertation in UGC care list of journals. These are two separated. You do not have to, please hear me out, and I'll repeat, you do not have to necessarily publish your papers prior to submitting your dissertation to the university. That is waived. You can directly go and submit your PhD work. But papers are also important in order to become a research guide. You may have to have 5 papers in a UGC care list of journals. So that is something which a PhD researcher will also simultaneously take up with.
Optional.
But optional in the sense, if you have other desires to pursue your career.
Yeah, it adds to your CV, sir. It adds to your CV. It should not be mandatory. I just wanted to have that notification where it says not mandatory, because the college, and these research papers are minimum 3,000 words. As UGC has recognized, a lot of it is, unnecessary writing. No, you have to do which is not motivating. It is demotivating.
I think it is there on the web, madam. See, let me see if I can also get hold of that and send it to Rushali, madam.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anything else? Anything that could not be followed, understood, or problematic or doubtful?
Yes, I think, sir, there is no more further questions. So if with
Okay,
your
but
permission,
I was requesting, Asmita madam was raising her hand, and I was also requesting Rushali madam, Kulkarni madam to kindly take a screenshot of all the people.
yes, we have already taken.
Making them visible.
Yes, sir. We have taken all the screenshots
Will you request them
and
to
we'll be
come on?
sharing.
Can you
Gallery view.
All of you can put on your videos so that we can have a
Kindly appear on the screen. Please bless us by appearing on the screen, please.
all are requested, please, if you can put on your video and we can have a screenshot.
Please. Including the principal, Neetu Kapoor, madam.
Yes, sir. Sure. I am already there, sir.
Rushali madam, how many states are represented in the participation?
9 states are there.
9 states. Okay, wonderful. Right. Take a couple of screenshots, madam.
Yes, sir.
Post them on the Telegram group and also keep them for your ready reference.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Anyone would like to have any question, please?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
In most of my webinars, it happens. How many of you have downloaded the NEP 2020 document in your IQACR for your personal use?
Yes, I have downloaded. Yes.
How many of you have downloaded the white paper by NAC?
Yes.
Speaking something about NEP 2020, where it says Bloom's taxonomy is not relevant to Indian context. It is educatedness that is to be looked into, not Bloom's taxonomy, which is having its origin abroad on a foreign soil. How many of you looked at it? How many of you have been able to do something for improving your outreach programs? How many of you have taken part in induction programs of the University Grants Commission? How many of you have prepared a PPT on your subject or other related subjects?
Yes.
And how many of you are using vernacular in your classes?
Yes.
Only a couple of questions, I think 4 or 5 questions. See, I keep asking them. I have my own doubts, and I cannot go into a college and ask all the faculty, come be in a line. You see, all those who are teaching in vernacular, come forward. All those who are not doing vernacular teaching, go back. I can't do it. Ask for yourself. See, let us do something for the college. I'm impressed by Bharat College says, Neetu Kapoor madam says single faculty college. No problem. But this is a college which has taken up a challenge of pooling all the resources of the University Grants Commission onto one platform in pan-India webinar on this date on a working day at working time between 10:30 and 1:30. It is organizing a seminar, a webinar using Zoom platform, bringing all the resources for the first time in India onto the academic ambit, into the academic arena. Why not we do it for ourselves? Why not we implement it in our own college? These are some of the questions that we'll have to ask. What positive steps are you taking in your college on behalf of the IQAC? These are some of the things. And are you mentors? How many students are there? Can you just say the name of one tough boy or tough girl's father or mother? Do you know the name of the mother or father of a student who assigned to you? Mentors as mentors. You may be having 10, 15, 20, 25. And what have you done for them? These are some of the questions that I keep asking. I do not ask these questions when I go as an ACT team member, not to penalize. I'm just curious. I want to find out how I can learn from you. If you are doing something in this area, perhaps I can enthuse myself and also learn from your experience. This is something that I keep asking. And if you do not open up your mouth at the end of the seminar, the resource person always opens his or her mouth at the end of the seminar. That is what I wish to say, Dr. Shruti Sharma. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your enlightening words and motivational things, especially that last part of mentors, parents need. That was very heart touching also, that we should remember as a teacher. And thank you once and all the participants also thank you. Now I request Ms. Pooja Oak madam to propose a formal vote of thanks.
Sir, before that, I think, sir, you are a perfect teacher. And the purpose that you ended with, NEP 2020, keeping it aside, let us first be a teacher, a humble teacher, a teacher who looks for the development of a child. I think that is what we have to understand. Whichever education policy comes, at the end, one should always remember that you're a teacher, and a teacher should be a learner first. I think that is what NEP 2020 is also highlighting on. Let us go with the spirit of bringing improvement in this process and enlightening our students, making them competitive. Policies will get implemented year on year. Changes will come year on year, but as a teacher, we have a major role to play in the society. That is, sir, what you have taught us in this session. NEP was the major part, but you ended saying that be a perfect teacher. That is what I feel. Sir, thank you so much for your enlightening 2.5 hours. You said you will not compromise a minute of yours. I really felt that you have in fact given more than what was expected. So thanks a lot. It was really wonderful having you in the session as a resource person. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thanks to Cluster, which has made it possible for me to reach out. You see, every time I speak, it is a discovery of India. Maybe Bharat College is also discovered by me because of the Cluster. You see, Discovery of India is written by Nehru, but Discovery of India, in my case, is written by AQAC Cluster, which has made it possible for me to meet and interact with so many people, far and wide, pan-India basis. Thank you so much. I take leave of you. with these words. Thank you so much.
Thanks, sir. Just a minute. Our formal vote of thanks is yet pending. I request.
Oh, okay, okay. I'll wait. I'll wait, Madam Kapoor.
Pooja ma'am, over to you.
A little feedback may also be collected, you see, on the usefulness of the workshop and the appropriate resource person also.
Sure, sir. We share the feedback with you, sir.
Okay, so this is Pooja Oak from BMS Department, Bharat College of Arts and Commerce, Badlapur. It's my privilege to propose a formal vote of thanks. Guidance on contribution of the colleges and educators for a new education policy. Your session was an eye-opener, giving the collaborative and holistic view for new. I extend my thanks to IQAC cluster for the support. Thank you to in charge principal Dr. Neetu Kapoor with the management. Thanks a lot. Punjabi Madam, IQAC coordinator, and Vishali Kulkarni Madam, the librarian. Thank you both, Savita Madam and Vishali Ma'am. Thanks a lot to all the teaching, non-teaching staff for the overall support. Thank you participants for the patience and the participation. Holistic education with this webinar. Thank you everyone. Thanks a lot. Over to you, Farida Ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am.
May I take leave of you?
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all, friends. Bye.
Bye.